there's a difference between a hard man and a dangerous man. I was a dangerous man. When I was pissed, I didn't give a shit.
That's the dangerous
This
bit.
is the dangerous thing. I was at a pub drinking, I ran out of money and I wanted more booze. I came out of the pub, the first guy I saw, I robbed him basically. I'd never done anything like this before. Didn't even know I was capable of doing such a thing. And I grabbed him by the back of the head and I bit him on the nose.
Wow.
I bit down so hard, I bit his whole nose off. Got 8 years. I had no memory of it at all. I don't even remember it. I don't remember doing that at all.
You were a kid that needed to be looked after properly. You were not.
There were nights where I was sleeping on the streets in my school uniform. I was sleeping in bushes some nights. I was going to school in a dirty school uniform. You know, it's Thursday, I've got maths and I've got science. I didn't like those lessons.
Neither did I.
Well, I'll go nick some booze and sit in the park for the day.
Who would you be with?
On my own most of the time.
Really?
I get emotional thinking about it now because I got my own kids.
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't imagine seeing them on the street.
No.
Drinking. But I did that. And no one gave a shit.
What happened to that little boy that was just an innocent little boy that happened to have a neurobiological response to alcohol, probably autistic and ADHD, undiagnosed, unseen, unheard, unnoticed, becomes a man that cannot even remember biting another man's nose off? That's a fucking dangerous man. Alcoholism, violence, prison.
Yes.
But there's also a hugely creative streak in you. You've done 3 books and you're on your 4th?
I've done 5 books altogether.
5.
The Inner Upgrade trilogy is the trilogy that I've just completed. There's 2 others. I wrote a short poetry book called Ink Made of Memory. And then there's the book that I wrote when I was 15. When it comes to writing, I never thought I'd be a true crime writer. Mm-hmm. You know, you can't climb the mountain in broken shoes. Fix your shoes first and then you can start doing great things, you know.
So, Ash.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
The only reason I've said your name in such pronounced ways because you've literally just told me what your actual name by default is. Before you introduce yourself with your full name, please can you tell me also why that's your full name? So first, give us your full name.
Mr. Lord Ashley David Clifford Phipps-Warren.
Why is that your name?
I've got to ask my parents.
So they literally called you Mr. as your first name?
No, that Mr. is my title.
Yeah, and then
so my
Lord.
actual name is Lord, but I say Mr. because people think when I say Lord Ashley David Clifford Phipps-Warren, they think Lord's a title.
But it's actually your name.
But it's actually my passport is Lord Ashley David, Mr. Lord Ashley David.
Well,
Clifford
that is your
Phipps-Warren.
Instagram handle. I just thought it was like a funny Instagram name.
People think a lot of people think I paid for a title.
No, it's just your name.
Because everybody knew me growing up as Ash or Ashley, because that's what I told everyone my name was. Because I used to use my middle. I've got 3 middle names, so Ashley David Clifford. And out of the 3, I thought Ashley was the best.
Yeah.
David's boring.
Yeah, true.
And Clifford's a bit weird. I didn't really like it. So
Clifford, the big red dog.
The big red dog. So I thought I'd just go with Ashley. So everybody just called me Ashley. Even at school, everybody called me Ashley.
But your name is actually
Lord. Even the
Lord.
teachers called me Ashley. But my first name is Lord.
And then we had the pop singer Lord. Do you remember? There's a pop singer called Lord or Lords. Actually, that's Madonna's daughter's name as well, isn't it? Lord.
Is it? I think there's another Lord as well, like Led Zeppelin, maybe.
Ah.
I think he's a guitarist or a bassist. I can't be sure. I only found that out recently from
That's
somebody else.
so cool.
Yeah. Because I was talking to somebody else about it and I said, I don't think I've ever met anybody else called Lord, which I actually haven't in the flesh.
Well, no, you wouldn't have done.
But I think there are in the celebrity world. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe
Well,
I'm destined to do great things. Who knows?
Well, it's certainly a good introduction, isn't it? It's like it's more interesting than just saying James.
It's a good selling point.
Not that there's anything wrong with the name James. You know
Lord
what I mean?
Ashley David Clifford Phipps-Warren, 6 names. Yeah.
How you remember that, I don't know.
Madness.
But we're not here to talk about your name.
No.
It's just very interesting.
Yes.
We're here to talk about your life story because just to give a brief overview, you had, and then we're going to go into this. So I'm just going to give people a bit of a brief overview. Your story starts off quite good and then it goes into alcoholism, violence, prison.
Yes.
But there's also a hugely creative streak in you. And so we've got loads of facets to dive into.
Yeah.
Also, it has to be said that you are an interesting looking man. And I mean interesting in a positive way.
Thank you.
So I think your face is a bit like your life story. There's a lot going on, isn't there?
It's like a roadmap of my pain, maybe.
Yeah.
Or my pleasure. I don't really know, one or the other. But,
Well, I like the way that maybe. Yeah. I like the way that the Maoris do face markings. And, it's much more about something deep and meaningful than it is just about art.
Yeah, it really is. But in my case, it was just a good idea at the time, Ella.
I was trying to really big that up for you. But
I wish I could say something wonderful and clever about it, but the truth is it was a good idea at the time. I got a lot of them done when I was very, very drunk.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't regret it at all. I love it's how I look now. I can't really remember what I look like without them.
Yeah.
And not only that, my children, who've only come into my life since I've been sober, they never knew what I looked like without them anyway.
Of course.
So, my children don't care and my partner doesn't care. So that's the most important thing to me.
Do you get judged though? Do people?
I still do sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it's a blessing though, because when I travel around on trains, no one wants to sit next to me. So
I might just do what you've done.
I kind of get a bit of room on the trains, which is cool.
I swear to God, I'll tell you a brief story before we start your story. I was on a train with Ben Cohen once. Ben Cohen is the England rugby player, if you don't know who Ben Cohen is, and he was in the World Cup squad. We were in first class because I was with Ben. Anyway, long story short is there was virtually nobody else around us in the first class. And this woman, for some reason, decided to sit directly next to me in first class when there was probably about, I'd say 10 empty seats. Yeah. Now, either she wanted to sit next to me because I was sitting directly opposite Ben, and Ben's quite a handsome boy, so it might have been the fact that she wanted to look at Ben.
She might have known who he was.
Or I'm just a magnet for that, because wherever I go, I am that person where there could be an empty train and someone would sit directly next to me.
Right next to you, yeah.
So I might take a leaf out of your book.
It could be an attraction of energy.
Could be.
Sometimes it's...
or a nice perfume, perhaps.
Well, yeah, it could be, one or the other, yeah. But I think that's quite a nice thing, though.
Well, it depends. If I'm not
it depends
in the mood
who they are.
Yeah, exactly that. And I've had all sorts. And look, I don't mind the weird and the wonderful. In fact, I probably prefer them because I find that those moments where it's just a chance meeting and you find out someone's life story in about 5 minutes, of course, that's what I do for a job. So maybe I just tell me your life story. But so many of us do, don't we?
Yeah.
So many of us have that effect. Apart from you, it seems, because you've found a way to keep all the weirdos away.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, apart from the old people, they seem to be really intrigued and interested in how I look.
Which is lovely.
Which is nice. You know, I tend to find I get more compliments off elderly people. Now, you would think it was the other way around, because I know, I mean, I'm not a hard man by any means.
No.
But I do know that people do think I have a slightly intimidating appearance. I have been told.
Yeah.
So I feel a little bit uncomfortable when I'm around elderly people because I don't want to frighten them.
Aww.
But the mad thing is they actually find me interesting. Most people that talk to me about my appearance are the elderly people.
I love that.
And it's really nice. And most people that avoid me or cross the road are the younger people. I would have thought it would be the other way around.
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think it's because you get to an age where wisdom takes over.
Yeah.
And you start to realise that everyone's just a person with a story. And I think you get to a point in life where you want to find out more. You know, you're curious.
Exactly, yeah. And the world is changing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the elderly generation didn't really have this growing up.
No, you're right.
And now it's more common. A lot of people have facial tattoos.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
So, you know, it's the social norm, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all these elderly people, when they see people like us, they're like, "Oh, I'll talk to them about that," because we never had people that look like that when we were growing up. So maybe it's that as well.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I grew up loving. I've got a very eclectic taste, as many people have, in the arts, be it music, be it paintings, be it books.
Yeah.
And I loved everything from heavy metal to pop music.
Yeah.
And so I always liked the characters that seemed darker because I just got this natural, I guess maybe because I've experienced darkness as of you, I'm drawn towards what appears to be dark. But you know what? Every single time, without a shadow of a doubt, I find that the dark people, i.e. the people that you assume are dark, are the lightest souls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. That's where I feel comfortable, because I know that if I see someone like you in the street, my immediate, and I promise you this, my immediate thought is, I bet they're a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And do you know what? When I look back now as an adult, I think a lot of me painting my face and because it's all under my chin and my cheeks, under my beard. And I think a lot of that was me trying to hold on to a bit of creativity during my dark times.
Which is where we will go with this, because you are a creative soul, and we're going to find out more about that. Yeah. And I love a creative soul. I really do. I think creativity is the most magical, beautiful thing that we have, apart from love. And I think the two go together, actually. Yeah. And I'm fascinated by it. And I said to you off camera, and I'll say it again before we go into the main bulk of your story, I've always been, in terms of creativity, and I don't say this to get anyone, I said this to you earlier, and I really genuinely don't get this to get compliments. I'll tell you my age to get a compliment, but this isn't to get a compliment. I'm mediocre. Yeah. And the reason I say that is because, as I said to you off camera, I think too many mediocre people are talented enough to do something, but they don't, because they're looking up at the super, super, super talented people. Yeah. But actually, I think creativity needs to be practiced. If you've got a seed of it, let it grow, try things, be it singing, which many of my listeners know I did mediocrely, and writing and drawing and everything else. I can't draw from life. But what I mean is, I won't hold back. Even doing a podcast, I'm not the best at anything, but I'll do everything to the best of my ability.
Absolutely. Never look at the competition.
Yeah. And I hope that, and the reason I say that is because I hope that someone out there goes, you know what, I would love to write a book. Fucking do it.
Do it then.
Yeah.
The only way to get anything done in this life is to actually do it.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly focusing on the competition, you're never, ever going to do it.
No.
Because you just feel like you're not good enough because you're looking at the highest level.
That's right.
You're looking at the best. It's, if you want to become an author, you want to, like myself, that you're not going to, I mean, yes, you look up to Stephen King. I like Stephen King.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm not going to compare myself to Stephen King.
No. No, but that is the worst thing to do when you're starting out.
Because I would never start.
No.
I'd be like, there's no way. Yeah. And I just would never do it.
Yeah.
You have to just look at yourself. What am I capable?
Yeah.
What am I capable of doing?
There.
And just start.
Yeah.
Just make a start and progress from there.
And it's bloody difficult. You've done 3 books and you're on your 4th?
I've done 5 books altogether.
5.
There's the Inner Upgrade trilogy is the trilogy that I've just completed. Today.
Congratulations.
It's released. So they took me about 2.5 years to write all of them.
And it's the 4th of July for everyone that wants to know what today is.
It's the 4th of July.
And it's today that you've completed the trilogy.
It's out. Yeah, it's available to buy. All 3 are available to buy now, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's 2 others. I wrote a short poetry book called Ink Made of Memory.
Oh, wow.
Which is just a little poetry book of silly little I say
they're not silly.
I say silly little poems, but they're quite meaningful to me,
Yeah.
And I wrote a little poetry book, which is quite nice. And then there's the book that I wrote when I was 15.
Which was
Mr. Warren's War.
Okay.
And I wrote that. It's funny, actually, because I didn't write it in my English class at school. I wrote it in my drama class. It was originally a script for a stage performance.
Oh, wow.
So I wrote the script. So although it was still the story, it was my story. I devised the whole piece.
Yeah.
Miss Lee, my drama teacher, she's a lovely woman, and she was blown away by it. I'm back in touch with Miss Lee now, which is lovely.
Oh, that is lovely.
It's really, really nice, yeah. And she's read the book and everything, and I remember reaching out to her and saying, oh, do you remember Mr. Warren's War? And she was like, yeah, I do. I said, well, I've converted it into a short story. And she was over the moon. And do you want to know something incredible about Miss Lee? I never knew this, because obviously when I left school, me and Miss Lee lost touch.
Yeah.
So 30 years later, when I sober up, I find her on social media, I get in touch with her, and I say, oh, I'm going to write Mr. Warren's War. She's an author, and she's a best-selling author.
No way.
She is. She writes under a couple of names, but the one I know her under is Elena Collins.
Wow.
And she's wrote lots and lots of books and best-selling books as well. So what are the chances of that? That's just
synchronicity.
Yeah.
Nothing is a coincidence. Everything is synchronicity.
Absolute madness, that one. I couldn't believe it. And then she gave me some advice on what to do to write my other stories.
Oh, God, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So she sort of she didn't mentor me or coach me. She just gave me some little pointers.
What's even more beautiful is, as we talked about the writing already, and that's like what you've been doing in the last little while. And you started writing at a time in your life, just to give an intro to that. You started writing at a time in your life when you were actually homeless. So you were 15 and homeless.
Yeah.
And writing was something that you tapped into, I suppose, as escapism, but also as a form of just using your natural God-given talent.
Yeah. It was, before I was homeless and before I even took my first drink, I was 12 when I started drinking.
Right.
But before that, when my younger years, I used to write comics.
Yeah, so from very early on, you were already...
Yeah, I was always very
pen in
creative.
hand.
I was always creative. Everybody at my school will tell you I was always I had to be the top of the class acting and music, and I was the clown of the class clown, and I had to have all the attention on me, and it was one of them because I just loved acting and writing and music.
You were a natural performer.
I was a natural performer, and I had all these mad ideas. I just constant ideas all the time. So when I was at home, I'd write comics, and I wasn't very good at art.
No.
They were stick men, and I drew these little characters. I think I called them imps, and they were like little round aliens, and I used to make them like walk and fall off cliffs and stuff. And just silly little things like that. But I remember doing that as a kid.
Wow.
So I always had it in me. But I just lost it, because of the addiction took over.
Which, okay, so you mentioned there that you started drinking at 12 years old. So if we go, for the listeners, for the benefit of the listener, we go all the way back. You mentioned to me before we started recording that you grew up in a very kind of normal family from the outside.
Yeah.
Although there's little bits that I want to pick at as we go through the story.
Yeah.
And it will go back and forth.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that it will feel a bit discombobulated at times, but I think we'll sow the seeds together nicely.
Yeah.
So the first sort of fundamental developmental years, which are 0 to 7, these are the years before the prefrontal cortex in the brain has started to fuse, which means that you're unfiltered and that life is very much just one moment as it comes. The brain waves are naturally slower for the first few years of our life. So we're absorbing more. That's why they say we're like sponges.
Yeah.
We're absorbing more, but also we don't have this critical faculty of being able to analyse and rationalise and organise information as it goes in. It just goes in unfiltered.
Yeah.
So 0 to 7 for you, describe your life.
Well, started off on a council estate in Newton Abbot, a place called Buckland. I think it was a little 2-bedroom house. And it was normal, small garden. My dad wasn't around though. He left when I was 4, I believe.
Did you know where to? Or did
No. Whatever happened between mum and dad, I've got no idea. I am back in touch with my dad now.
Right.
And he's a lovely man. We've got a great relationship. I don't dive into what happened between them. It's none of my business.
So you did you see him after he...
No. We had no contact at all.
So he literally was there 1 minute, gone the next.
Gone the next, and he's told me bits and bobs, but that's a different story. And I don't really want to ask too many questions because whatever happened between them two is their business.
Yeah.
All that matters to me is that he's in my life now and we get on, and that's great.
Yeah.
But my mum did remarry to another guy, and he was actually a pretty decent guy. We never connected as such as father and son. He had his own kids.
How old were you when he came into your life?
Oh, God. 8 or 9, maybe.
I must say here, it's really important that whether you registered it this way or not, for a lot of children, and there will be many boys that are watching that dads just suddenly weren't there anymore. And they felt that hugely as an abandonment wound. I don't know if you did, but I know a lot of boys in particular, when the dad goes, and of course it's very natural for boys to want to be with their dads, that abandonment is felt. It's confusing, and the child doesn't have the ability, going back to prefrontal cortex development, the child doesn't have the ability yet to work out that it's not their fault. They can't go, well, that's between my mum and dad, and I don't really know what happened, but that's the way things go.
Yeah, we're
They're
too
like,
young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's my dad? Why has he left me?
Yeah.
Why has he left me? So I think that's important, because you did mention you started drinking by 12. So I'm just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
From a neurodevelopmental standpoint, 4 is very young, and your brain will develop around those events.
Yeah.
So your dad leaving, gone. 8 to 9, a new man comes in.
Yeah.
That's a big adjustment for a child.
It is,
a man is in my house, and he might be a very nice man, but it's a stranger to you.
Well, I clinged on to my older brother Joseph.
How old was he?
He's 8 years older.
Right, so you had an older figure.
He's not with us anymore. He passed away, sadly.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But I clinged on to him. So he was not only my older brother, but he was like a father figure too. So I think what you were saying about when you're young and your dad leaves and the impact it would have had on me,
yeah.
I think I almost let that wash over because I had my brother there.
Right.
So I didn't really take it all in like I should have when I was a kid.
You probably just didn't. You would have done. You'd gone.
I buried it.
Clung to safety.
Yeah, I think I buried it, and I was just me and my brother were best pals, and he was always there. So my life was fine. So it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
So that was kind of that, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mum remarried, and he's a pretty nice guy. He's still. They're not together anymore, but he's still around, and because he sees my son and what have you, which is nice.
Yeah.
They've got a good relationship, but yeah, it was all normal childhood, really, in Buckland. And then when my grandfather passed away, my mum inherited a big chunk of money. I couldn't tell you exactly how much it was, but it was enough to go and buy an absolutely massive house in Torquay, in one of the poshest areas of Torquay. It was like a mansion. It was massive. It had marble floors and archways and 6 sofas. And
how much would it be worth today if you were to go and buy a house in that area, do you reckon?
Oh, what? Jesus, I couldn't even tell you.
Millions?
Quite possibly.
2, 3, 4 million?
Possibly.
So I'm just trying to give context. You've gone from a 2-bedroom council house to a real plush.
It was a big leap.
Yeah.
And I was only a kid, so I didn't really understand it. All I thought was, we've got a nice big house now.
Yeah.
But as an adult now, I know they inherited a lot of money. They did, and it was split between my mum and her brother. So my uncle and mum.
What did your granddad do then?
He owned a load of arcades.
Cool.
And I think he did a few naughty things on the side, which is story. He's dead now, so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
But what I was told by other family members is that he owned a lot of arcades. I think he had arcades in the UK. He owned a big water park in the UK.
Wow.
He owned arcades in Spain and places like this. So he had businesses all over the place, but I also heard that he was a little bit dodgy.
It's fascinating because let me tell you why I asked this. I love to look at the epigenetics.
Yeah.
I love to look at genetic expression, how it moves and changes as we go through the generations. So just listening to you talk about creativity, knowing that your maternal granddad made shitloads of money in a very sort of, creative way, I guess. Not that arcades are creative, but the business, the entrepreneurial side. Yeah. And then left your mum a load of money. Mm-hmm. How old are you when you moved to Torquay from Newton Abbot?
So I think I was about 11, maybe, when we went to Torquay. I was still relatively young.
Was it far away from where you'd lived? So was it quite?
It was the next town along.
So the reason I asked that is because even those sorts of things like changing schools or changing areas where you've got no friends in the new area, that can always be a bit of a shift for the child. I know it was for me moving school at like 7. It was a really crucial thing, actually. It was only round the corner, but I changed schools and I was so sensitive to that change. You may not have been, but those are the little moments in people's lives where, again, because you started drinking at 12, where we go, I wonder what led up to that. So we've got abandonment, although you don't really feel like you registered that.
But it was there.
You've got a new man that moves into the home. Again, didn't really register it, but it was another change. Then we move home. Not only do we move from a small council house to a massive mansion, in the next town, new friends, new school. Yeah. These are all fundamental changes. And I wonder if, because you then turned to drink, I wonder if neurodevelopmentally there was an instability. Now, I would suggest as well some sort of neurodivergence that was, because you said to me before we started to record that you had behavioural issues and you were a bit, I guess, wild, hyperactive perhaps.
Well, the behaviour issues only happened when I started drinking. I was actually very well behaved before the alcohol came in.
So then we'd be looking at other things. That's really interesting. So tell me what led up to the drinking.
Do you know what? It's such a strange thing. I couldn't even tell you what led up to it because I never saw my parents drunk, ever. I don't think I ever have any memory of ever seeing them drunk in, maybe at a wedding or something when I was a kid and I wouldn't even remember,
Yeah.
But they never really drank in the house or they never drank in front of me in the house.
Wow.
But it was a school day and I came downstairs to go to school and came down. It was about 7 o'clock in the morning, went to the kitchen and I saw a box of white wine. You know, the boxes with
Yes,
the
I
taps
remember
on?
them.
Yeah.
They were very 1980s.
It was on the side and I knew what it was, but for some unknown strange reason, I decided to try some. Everybody else was asleep. My brother Joe was asleep. Mum and her husband were asleep.
Do you think because the box had like a little tap on the side of it, right? Do you remember
Yeah, a little
that?
plastic tap.
And then one of the things I remember as well is that when the box had finished, you get like this. For those that remember of the age, you get like this. Like it was a foil.
It's like a bag.
Like a bag,
inside.
foil bag. And when the wine was finished, I used to like blow in the bag up and screw in the tap up and you get like a silver pillow.
Yeah.
Do you remember it looked like a silver
like a
pillow?
balloon.
Like a balloon.
Yeah.
And I loved doing that. But what I remember you talking about that was as you would blow it up, you'd still get the taste of the wine. Like that sort of sweet alcohol.
Like it's the air
I used
of
to
it,
love that actually, funnily enough. I used to love that like little drip of it. And I remember turning the tap on and having a little drop myself when I was a kid. Yeah. There was something about that tap. And the only reason I say that is
because...
It's
like a toy, isn't it?
It's like a toy.
When you're a kid, it's like a toy.
When you're a kid. Yeah. So that's why I mention it. Because I remember thinking about that. I used to love those boxes of wine. Obviously, I wasn't drinking it.
Yeah.
But the idea of the tap turning on, getting a little drop out, I think kids are naturally curious. So that's... I wonder if that's the same thing.
Well, it could well be. I mean, I couldn't tell you, but... I tried it, I had poured myself a glass of it and I drank it. But, over the course of about an hour, I went through half of that box. I was done.
You were 12?
I was 12 years old.
And you went through half a box. And
Could have killed me.
Wasn't there like a litre of wine in those boxes?
Yeah, I don't know how much was left in the box. I mean, they could have had, it might not have been a full box.
Yeah.
But from my memory, it was glass after glass after glass, and I went through loads of it.
Can you remember what you felt in the first couple of glasses?
Yeah, I felt absolutely incredible. I loved it.
Explain that feeling to me.
It was like euphoric joy. And, I was like, it was like a weird, like, I don't know. I've explained it in my book, a bit like feeling like King Kong.
Right. So
I just felt really good, and it was like I felt incredible. I felt awful after, of course.
Yeah,
it made me very, very ill.
I bet it did.
But from what my parents were telling me at the time, because obviously I woke them up. I don't remember this now,
right?
Because I blacked out and I was so young and so drunk. But they'd come down and I was pissing in the kitchen, and I was getting my mum's fags out of the fireplace and sparking them up and trying to smoke them, and
oh my God,
throwing them around the house, burning fag holes in the carpets and things like that, because I was so pissed. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I woke up in my bedroom, and they said they'd had a doctor out to see me and everything. And they knew I'd got into the wine.
Yeah.
So they were like, we need to keep an eye on him and stuff. So I had a few days off school then. And I sort of recovered.
Yeah.
And then it was like, that was it then. I couldn't wait to do it again.
So, okay. My understanding of alcohol issues are this. We've got the dopaminergic system, and in the brain there are neurotransmitters. I'm trying to try and keep it simple. Bear in mind that the brain the prefrontal cortex doesn't fully develop until you're 25.
Yeah.
We have two major stages of development before that's fully developed, which is the reptilian brain, which is like the brain going into the spinal cord. That's the bit you're born with. Then the mammalian brain, which is the limbic system, the emotional system, the fight-flight responses, the pleasure responses.
Yeah.
That's developed by 3 years old.
Yeah.
Then the prefrontal cortex starts to fuse at 7, and then it carries on developing until about 25, which is your executive function, analysis, logic, organization, planning, as well as the right side of the brain, which is emotion, it's creativity, imagination, all of those things.
Yeah.
So that's not fully developed till 25. Anyway, the reason I say that is because even once you've started to develop the prefrontal cortex by 11, 12, you're still in the very early development. You've got an immature prefrontal cortex. So your decision making would have been terrible, as is most children.
Yeah.
Also, ego boundaries are starting to form at around 11 and 12. So your identity is starting to become separate from the world around you.
Yeah.
Up until that age, I am them and they are me. By 11, 12, I am me. And I'm starting to form an identity of who I am me is and what that means. So when we start drinking, we're not using decision making. We're also sort of starting to learn who we are.
Yeah.
So we're not making rational, logical choices. And that's starting to be wired in with our identity. So far, so good. So now think about this. Your dopaminergic system is maturing as well. So dopamine is obviously motivation, reward, amongst other things. Serotonin is feeling good, content, happy, amongst other things. And GABA glutamate is I always say it's like an anxiety stabilizer. Now, when we drink, GABA glutamate separates. And when we're drinking alcohol, the space in between when it separates is where we feel good.
Right.
And people that are socially anxious or nervous often feel more relaxed when they drink. So they feel more open, more connected. The problem is that when you stop drinking, what happens is one of them, I think it's GABA, drops down and the other one stays too low. So the bit after drinking, you're now not integrated in terms of that neurotransmitter, so you're no longer balanced. So you're actually more anxious than when you drank.
Yeah.
So people feel like, oh my God, euphoric, like you say, I feel connected, I feel open. But the next day or a few hours afterwards, they feel worse than before they started.
Of course, yeah. I'd have to agree.
So I think you've probably got a sensitive dopaminergic system. I think that's why I'm starting to wonder whether you had ADHD or something like that. So even if you were well behaved before that point, you've already stated you were a very creative child. Lots of ADHD children, they're not actually hyperactive and naughty, but they are very sensitive.
Fixating on things.
Fixating, obsessive, very creative, very sensitive.
Yeah.
Feel things deeply. So I'm wondering if when you drank, the dopaminergic system, because with ADHD and other neurodiverse conditions, dopamine metabolizes really, really quick.
Yeah.
But also executive function is not as, how do I put this? If you're very creative and sensitive emotionally, you're right side dominant, because that's right side of the brain, right hemisphere.
Yeah.
Often, if people are very right side dominant, the left side of the brain, which is rational, logical, analytical, that sort of loses a bit of internet connection.
Yeah.
So imagine if you're already predisposed to ADHD or that type of neurodiversity, and then also your brain is developing, you probably haven't got enough internet connection on the left side, if you like.
Yeah.
Your right side is more dominant. When you drink, or when you drank at the age of 12, suddenly you've got this sense of connection that you've never had before.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you became susceptible to alcohol. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, because I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. From that day, that day that I found that wine was the beginning of the end. What could have been the end.
Yeah, well, it nearly was, wasn't it?
It nearly was.
Because throughout the years, and we'll come back and forth with this, you did commit violent acts that you actually don't remember now.
Yeah.
And you ended up in prison.
I did, yeah.
So you kind of lost yourself.
I completely lost myself. I turned into somebody I didn't recognise at all. But it's very strange, because I say I turned into somebody that I didn't recognise. I didn't actually have anybody to compare myself to, because I was so young. And I started drinking so young. Yeah. And then I grew up with this alcohol, and that's just who I became.
So it's fused your identity.
It's fused my identity. So even I was an absolute nightmare, but when I tried to explain it, I say I become someone I didn't recognise. But the reality is that I didn't have anybody to compare myself to. I
Well, it
didn't
was
have
just
another
who you
version of
were.
myself that I couldn't recognise. That makes sense?
Yeah, because
It was who I was. It was who I became.
well, we become what we repeat, don't we?
Yeah.
That's our identity.
And this is it. And alcohol just took over my life. And, you know, it was, I almost could, I remember my mum telling me, and she told me this fairly recently, she was like, I remember when you were about 13, 14, you used to shake. And I was like, did I? Because I don't remember this far back. And she said, yeah, you used to shake a lot. And she was like, I thought you had like a nervous disposition or something, but I later found out that you'd shake when you hadn't had a drink.
So you were in detox, like kind of detox shakes?
At 14.
Oh my God. So, okay, I'm trying to get... So we know that with repeated thinking, we wire in like repetitions recognition. I say this every episode. So for the listeners, Jesus Christ, they'll be bored out of their brains right now. So repetitions recognition, the neuroplasticity is that those pathways become unconsciously, they're autonomic. But the nervous system also, every single time you have a thought, you'll have an emotion. The emotion will get remembered cellularly in the body, and that becomes like the sat-nav. Yeah. So now the sat-nav is driving the brain. And actually what happens is that becomes the identity and the behaviour. Yeah. That becomes the energy you put out into the world, and you sort of have a feedback loop from that point on. Yeah, yeah. So by 14 years old, you're in a feedback loop. You're in an energetic feedback loop, and your body is wiring in more of the same. And remember, your brain isn't fully developed yet. Yeah, yeah. So your identity at the age of 14 is completely maladaptive. Yeah, yeah. Because you were unfortunately chemically very sensitive to alcohol. Yeah, yeah, yeah. May I add here, which I think is an important point as well, you're naughty at this age, so you're starting to have behavioural issues as a result of this addiction. I was starting to develop a bit of a nasty character. How do we know that you were nasty? Like, what were you doing? It'd be little small things to start off with, but it only ever happened when I was drunk. But bear in mind, I was usually drunk every day. There'd be a few days where I would. So how much were you drinking? I'd drink whatever I could, whenever I could. So it started off after 12. I used to sneak around the house looking for my parents' alcohol when they went to bed. So they'd go to bed, I'd get out of bed and I'd go downstairs and I'd be looking in the cupboards, and I'd find, if I come across it, I found a little booze cupboard. Wow. And I was like, it had spirits in there and everything. So I'd just take a bit here and there. That's what it started off. Then it'd be a bottle. And I remember very vividly, there was one time I was like, I know where the booze cupboard is now. So they went to bed and I went down to the booze cupboard and I opened it up and there was a sign saying, "Got your thief." Wow. And I was like, shit, they know I'm stealing their booze. Didn't stop me though. I still took some. Yeah. You know, but they knew at this point that I was taking it. And then that booze cupboard suddenly became empty. Right. And then before you know it, I can't find it anywhere. So they either stopped having it in the house, or they hid it very, very well. Yeah. So then it was right, okay, so how am I going to get it now? I know what I'll do. I'll go out in the streets and I'll get my mates' older brothers to buy it for me if I had a bit of pocket money, or, you know, if I couldn't get it that way, it would be stealing. So it started off, the behavioural problems where I'd start stealing it from shops. I'd just walk in, pick up a bottle of vodka, stick it in my jacket, walk out, go sit in the park and drink it. What a shame, though. It is. But that's what I did. Because you're just a kid. I'm just a kid. That's just got a really unfortunate sensitivity to what alcohol does to the brain. Yeah. Again, I do think you're neurodiverse. Yeah, yeah. I do think that it would make a lot of sense. It's your neurotransmitter I'm system. Still figuring all this out now. I absolutely do believe that you had inattentive ADHD, because you've got hyperactive ADHD and inattentive. Not every person with ADHD is hyperactive, which is why people didn't know. Yeah, yeah. And I do think because of the executive function and the dopaminergic system, I actually think that's why you became so sensitive to alcohol. And I think that's why then the alcohol actually exacerbated the sort of the naughty, you know, the bit that people have with ADHD. I think that came out more when you were drinking. Yeah, yeah. And I say this because I'm so passionate about people spotting these things in their own children, because it can change lives if we know what we're looking for. If you know what you're looking for. Yeah. And I think back then as well, sort of, you know, the early 90s and whatnot, it was a different world. It was. People didn't really care. No, they didn't. Or so it seemed. Well, that was my next question, actually. Was school realising that there was a problem? Nobody knew. I was very good at hiding it. Yeah.
I had some friends that were close to me that knew, that were like, you're drinking a hell of a lot, you know, Ash, you need to pack it in. I'd be like, fuck off and tell me what to do. It wasn't a problem back then. It was developing into a problem. But I didn't think it was. I didn't know who I was without it.
Well, there was no you without it because you were so young when you were drinking.
Yeah, I was so young, so I didn't really know who I was. It was just I needed alcohol like every day, or at least every other day.
It was self-medication.
It was self-medication, and because of that, I loved the way it made me feel. And I hated how it made me behave.
Yeah,
but I loved how it made me feel. And
how did it make you feel? I mean, you said King Kong, but would you resonate with connection and?
It made me confident. You know, I was much more confident. I could talk to people. I could socialise better. Like everything was just better. It just felt better. But the reality was, it wasn't better. I felt better. My behaviour was worse. People actually started to dislike me and did not like me more. And I'm thinking everybody was loving me. I thought I was the funniest guy in Torquay.
Yeah.
Do you know? And then when I was drinking, I'd crack all the jokes and everybody would laugh. But they're laughing at me. It got to a point where they're not laughing with me, they're laughing at me. You know, they're thinking this guy's a fucking idiot.
Do you know what? I wouldn't mind betting, just as a side note here, that there's some autism in there as well.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I think really, maybe more so than ADHD.
It really wouldn't surprise me at all. You know, I generally think I need to get tested for it because there's something going on. Even now as a sober man, like my partner, I've been with her for 10 years. She's seen me at my worst, my very worst. Like I was still bad when we got together. And she's got me at my best now. And she'll even tell you, he's autistic as fuck.
Right, I think you're, listening to you say that, I think you're maybe autistic with ADHD traits rather than ADHD with, you're somewhere on that spectrum. And it's important again to say this, and I know I'm butting in a lot today, but I'm just thinking about all the kids out there, all the little boys and girls that are raiding their parents' cupboards for, it could be pills, it could be alcohol, and I'm thinking, don't assume they're just a naughty kid. Don't assume they're a problem.
There could be more to it.
There's more to it.
Yeah, and this is the whole reason we do these things, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, it's all to help other people recognise these things. Yeah. Because what I was going through, I think a lot of it just went over people's heads, and they just thought, oh, he's just a pisshead. Yeah,
I think you're right, and that's how going back to the 90s again. School system or whatever, and people know my story as well. There weren't a lot of help.
No.
And there wasn't there wasn't a lot of people really looking in on children. You were kind of left to it.
You were left to it, and when I got kicked out eventually, I was still at school. I was in my last year of school. 15. So there were nights where I was sleeping on the streets in my school uniform on a park bench.
That is absolutely tragic and devastating. And I want to say this, it's not to be horrible to your parents, by the way, but they were foster carers for kids with behavioural issues, and they kicked you out.
Yes, and I still try and work that out now because I don't want to speak badly about them.
No.
Something I don't want to do. No. I don't even think they really realised it at the time. No. I think their job was to look after these children.
Yeah.
Their job was to look after me. But I'm also not there. They're not getting paid to look after me.
Can I just say what I think that might be? Just for you, really, more than anybody else, but also to make sense for other people. That was their job, and they could do it probably very well with other children.
Yes.
But particularly for your mum and your stepdad, who had raised you for a really long time, I think there was a certain amount of shame for your mum that she couldn't fix her own child. And I think, do you remember what I said about my own dad earlier? That I think my dad sexually abused me, but part of that was, not that I think he sexually abused me, he did, but I think he did it because he was externalising the aggressor. So I think any shame and guilt he'd had from being whoever he was, he projected onto me.
Yeah.
And abused me as a result of that. Now, I think maybe your mum in particular felt some level of guilt and shame about not being able to fix her own child.
Yeah.
So instead of looking at herself in the mirror, maybe she projected, displaced that shame and guilt, and the only way she knew how to deal with those feelings was to get rid of you.
Yeah. And you could be very, very right there. But also in her defence, I will admit this because I'm an open book with everything. I was uncontrollable.
But putting a kid on the street that's uncontrollable only ever leads
I know,
to more.
because she could have put me in care or something, do you know what I mean? But then I think that this goes deeper, because as an adult now looking back, I think, well, she could have just put me in care. But then if she went down that road,
she couldn't be a foster carer.
They'd look at her job and be like, hang on a minute, why is she putting her own kid into care? We're paying her to look after other people's kids.
Arguably.
So it could have put her in a very difficult position. So maybe she just kicked me out. And I think she kicked me out thinking that I was just going to stay at other friends' houses.
And it would be okay.
Which I did occasionally. I had one friend in particular who's still a good friend of mine now, who was a big support of mine. Now, he used to let me stay at his mum used to let me stay there when they could.
Yeah.
If I was sober.
Yeah.
If I was drinking, I wasn't allowed in.
No.
You know, so there were times where I wasn't there. And I think my mum, deep down, and I don't want to talk about my mum too much because I don't really like to talk bad about her, because there's
I get it.
There's, it's just one of those things. You know, we could go on forever about that, couldn't we?
Yeah.
But I genuinely believe that she just thought I was staying at my mate's and I was fine. I don't think she really realised the depth of the homelessness and the fact that I was sleeping in bushes some nights and I was going to school in a dirty school uniform.
And again, they weren't stepping in and going, hang on a minute, you don't look like you've even slept in a bed.
Well, I used to turn up to school early, and because the gates open early, and I'd go into the bathroom and clean myself up before school.
Oh, bless you. That's so sad.
It is, but that's what I was doing. And I got used to doing that. But that's only if I wanted to go to school that day.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing is back then as well, you could mitch off school and nobody would care.
That's true. Yeah, everyone was. I remember
everyone was doing it.
One boy, honestly, I was with him in Cherry Orchard, which was my middle school. Yeah. Went to a school called Western Fayville. I think he went maybe once in the entire time we were at upper school.
Yeah. Well, I was barely there for year 11. I used to go to school for my drama class, my English class, and my music class.
Yeah.
I'd always make sure I was in for them. Everything else could do one.
Yeah.
You know, if I woke up and I was like, what day is it? Or, it's Thursday, I've got maths and I've got science. I didn't like those lessons.
Neither did I.
Well, I'll go nick some booze and sit in the park for the day.
Who would you be with?
On my own most of the time.
Really? I've just got this horrible little image of like a little kid on his own in the park.
It's really sad because I didn't think of it like that when I was a kid.
No.
And I get emotional thinking about it now because I got my own kids.
Yeah, I know. It's so sad.
So I struggle with it.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't imagine seeing them on the street.
No.
Drinking.
In the park on their own all day.
I couldn't imagine it. But I did that. And no one gave a shit.
I mean, fundamentally, you were let down by everyone.
I was, but...
Don't say but. Let me say this.
Yeah.
Let me say this. As I always talk about this, because we have to. This is so important for those that are going through addiction now.
Yeah.
That have been going through addiction for a long time, and maybe of our age group. You're 42, I'm 47.
Yeah.
Times were different then. And the reason I say fundamentally you were let down by everybody is because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Community, you know that saying that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, like you say, your mum genuinely, from what you're saying, thought she was doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, this boy is uncontrollable. He'll probably learn to behave if he's got it a bit tough for a little while.
Quite possibly,
He'll probably learn to behave. The problem is with you were too far gone into addiction.
Yeah.
So what was happening was you were actually stealing sometimes, spending all day, some days on your own in a park with a bottle of vodka. Not one fucking person went, this kid doesn't seem right. He doesn't come to school. He's never clean.
No.
He probably smells a bit of alcohol, because we all know when someone's drinking, you can smell the alcohol on him.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he's thinking straight or behaving in a way that other children are behaving.
Mm.
And everybody, the people in the shops, the people that walk past you in the street.
Yeah.
Who fucking stopped to go, well, this is just a kid?
Exactly that. And this is the thing. It's like if this happened now in 2026, someone would be picked up on like that.
Well, you say that, and then what actually happens to them when they are picked up? And they usually end up going into a system that fucks them over even more.
Well, true, but it gets noticed at least.
At least it
but
gets
when,
noticed.
You know, in the 90s, it didn't really.
Yeah.
I think people just used to think, because kids used to drink a bit here and there.
And you're a bit of a toe rag.
A bit of a toe rag. He's a bit of a scallywag, isn't
Yeah.
he? He's a bit of a cheeky bugger.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of them.
Yeah.
I think people just generally thought they didn't really see the depth of it or how bad it was getting.
True.
You know, because I was very good at hiding this as well.
Hang on a minute. You think you were.
I thought I was very good at hiding it.
And the reason I say that is if I see, let me tell you now, if I walk down this street, and by the way, this street is quite rough. If I walk down this street and I see a 15-year-old who thinks he's holding it together, I can tell the difference between him and one who's actually being looked after properly.
Yeah, of course.
So we think we're hiding it. But if you saw a 15-year-old boy now that had a problem with addiction, you would know.
Oh, yeah.
So you
well, I do, and you know, I do these things, and since I got sober, I've done a few courses of like level 3 understanding addiction, and drug and alcohol recovery stuff. And don't get me, I say courses, and they were courses. They're only certificates.
But you've still done your learning.
It gives me that. I didn't need to do that, but because I talk about it in schools and colleges and things.
Yeah.
I tell my story, schools, colleges, rehab centres, like the rehab I was in. I recently went there and talked to the residents there, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But the whole reason I do all this is to help people, you see. But, you know, it's... where was I going with this?
Well, it was to say that you thought you were hiding it well.
That's right. So I thought I was hiding it really, really well. And but you can see it in other people, especially now in this day and age.
Yeah.
But back then, like, as we were saying, I think people just didn't really realise the depth of it. They may have seen me pissed up on night, and they might have just thought, oh, he's having a bad day.
But just called you a bit of a scallywag and left you to it.
Exactly. I don't think people really realised, hang on, that kid might be on the streets homeless. So they might have just thought, look at him sitting in the park with a bottle of cider at 2:00 on a Tuesday afternoon. Little scallywag, you know. I think people generally, back in the 90s, they just thought that.
Yeah.
Because there were kids that did that for fun.
There was
every now and again.
Cultural norms and cultural differences.
Exactly. But I was doing this every single day, you know.
It's very, very sad.
And it's just trying to recognise it in people. But, you know, I can see it in people. You know, you even walking down the street now.
That's what I mean.
You can see the pissheads and who's got a problem and stuff like that.
That's why I called you up, though, and said, when you said I hid it well, I'm like, no, you think you hide it well.
Yeah.
Actually, if anyone bothered to look.
Yeah.
But because, do you know what I hate about that time? Because I've said it myself, by the way. That's just what happened then. That's just how things were then.
That's just how it was.
And we make excuses for it. And it's not okay.
We're trying to tone it down, aren't we?
We are.
I think, I blame a lot of everything that happened on me on my behaviour. And it was my behaviour. And I did some horrible, horrible things at that.
As a child and a young man.
As a child and a young man. But even into my adulthood, it got worse.
So let's go there. Because first of all, right, I want to show some compassion for the little boy that you were. Before we go into the next bit, this is so important for me. And it's so important for any man or any woman that's listening that has done bad things. I'm one of those people, by the way.
Yeah.
I've also done bad things. I'm deeply ashamed of the things that I've done, the way I've spoken to people, the way I've hurt myself even, the way I became the internal aggressor as well as at times external aggressor. I'm not proud of it and I'm not comfortable with it, and I don't really like talking about it because no one wants to admit their dark side.
No.
But we all have one. But we also need to show compassionate inquiry for the younger version of ourselves and stop blaming ourselves for being the child that we were, that adapted the way that we did, that didn't know what we know now, and actually that wasn't taught anything. So we just survived. So as we go into the next bit of your life, you've gone from being the 15-year-old that's in the park, drinking cider all day, getting a wash at school in the morning, to the more young adult phase of your life. What's going on there?
So that's when things took a big, big turn. Obviously, school had come to an end then. Just didn't have to worry about school anymore. So I could focus all my attention on drinking.
Oh, God.
It's just not a good idea at all. But the crime started to get a bit worse.
So you're not just stealing anymore.
I'm not just stealing anymore. I'm getting a bit more violent. And I wasn't a hard man. I'm still not a hard man. There's a difference between a hard man and a dangerous man.
Yes.
I'd say I was a dangerous man because I did not care. I wasn't hard. Most of the fights I had when I was pissed up in the street, I lost. Yeah. I'll be honest. I used to get knocked out in the streets. I was not a fighter. I wasn't good with my fists. I never have been. But when I was pissed, I didn't give a shit.
That's the dangerous thing.
This is the dangerous thing because I would win some fights. Like a hard man, say for instance, someone abused your kid, a hard man would go and fill him in with his fist.
Yeah.
I'd go up behind him and shoot him in the back of the head.
Right.
That's
dangerous, man.
Dangerous. They're the differences. So I was never tough.
Yeah.
I never claimed to be tough.
Yeah.
I was just lost wire.
Yeah.
And I'd be aggressive. I'd want to fight everybody.
Yeah.
I'd start on the hardest people in Torquay and get my absolute head filled in.
Yeah.
I woke up in hospital with my eyes hanging out of my sockets. And my second date with my partner, actually, funnily enough, was in Torbay Hospital.
Romantic.
Yes, very romantic. So that's a funny story. So we went on our first date and it was quite nice and I was quite well behaved, and we arranged to meet up a couple of days later, and she was at work that day and I was like, I've got 8 hours to kill before I meet her. I'm still homeless at this point. I'm just getting freshened up at my mates' houses, borrowing shirts and stuff. So I was like, what can I do for 8 hours while I'm waiting for her? I know what I'll do. I'll go out and get pissed. So I went out, got pissed, absolutely trolleyed. Started on the wrong guy, got absolutely filled in, like really badly. So I think he was some MMA fighter or something from Torquay. And he I got told he got me on the floor and he was just pummeling the living shit out of me. I don't remember it. I just remember waking up in hospital the next day, looking like the Elephant Man.
Wow. And
I'm laying there thinking, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's happened to me? A couple of hours later, Sarah walks in and it's the girl I was supposed to have a second date with.
What, was she knew you were there? Or?
Yeah, and I was like, what are you doing here? And she was like, well, I came out to meet you where I said I was going to meet you and you weren't there. And I bumped into some of your friends and they told me what happened and they've told me you're up here, so I've come up to see you.
Wow.
And that was it. We were together ever since.
God, she really did see you at your worst then.
She did see me at my worst, yeah. And it's like, it's crazy that she kind of stayed with me because although it was 10 years ago, so I'd already had 20 years of alcoholism before I'd met Sarah anyway.
Yeah.
So I was trying to sort of snap out of it a bit when I met Sarah, but it was relapse after relapse. So I wasn't drinking every single day, but it was still pretty bad.
You were on the roller coaster.
I was on the roller coaster anyway, but she stuck around. So I always say with Sarah, she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at the time.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we're together now, and she's got me at my best is amazing because I don't know what she saw in me, but she saw something and she knew that one day I would get sober and be a decent human being, or she saw that I was a decent human being. I just had a problem with drink. I don't know. This is a conversation you'd have to have with her.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is second date, Torbay Hospital, because I got filled in. So that used to happen a lot.
Yeah.
That happened a lot. And there were times where I'd win a fight and it would be horrific. But my first serious offence, I thought I was still quite young. Can't remember how old, 20 or 21. I can't remember dates and things very well because the memories are really squiffy.
I bet.
It's very difficult, blackouts and what have you. Like when I wrote my books about my story, I had to do loads of research. I had to speak to like friends and family and police, and I had to look at DBS checks.
Yeah.
And all this to sort of get it as accurate as I can.
Yeah.
And but there was a time, the first serious offence I did, which I'm absolutely not proud of, but I do talk about it so people can kind of realise how bad it really got for me when I was in drink. I was in a pub drinking. I ran out of money, and I wanted more booze, and nobody was buying me a beer. It was in Newton Abbot actually, which is the next town along.
Where you originally started?
Well, I was originally from, and I came out of the pub. The first guy I saw, I went over and asked, robbed him basically. So give me your wallet, give me your phone, give me all this business. And he was like, no, I ain't giving you fuck all. And he wasn't backing down. He was quite a big lad. And he got up in my face, put his face in my face like this. And for I'd never done anything like this before. Didn't even know I was capable of doing such a thing. And I fucking grabbed him by the back of the head and I bit him on the nose.
Wow.
And I'd had hold of his nose and I bit down so hard and I ripped him back and he fucking bit his whole nose off.
Jesus Christ.
Got 8 years.
So how old were you then again?
About 20 or 21.
So you're 20, 21, and do you think that was a fear response? You know when dogs have fear aggression?
I think it was a reaction to, I mean, I couldn't tell you. I was hammered. But looking back now, I think it was a reaction of, don't you fucking tell me no.
So you're trying to assert authority.
I'm trying to assert authority because I was such an arsehole.
Yeah.
I really was. And the scariest thing about this, and this is what makes me think I was a dangerous man back then, is that it took the police 2 weeks to find me after that. Because I was homeless. I was here, there and everywhere. They couldn't find me anywhere. But when they finally did and they arrested me, they took me to the police station. And they had it all on CCTV, so they knew who they were looking for. And they're showing me this footage of what's going on. And you can clearly see it's me. There's no way I could get away with it.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I don't even remember doing that. I had no memory of it at all. But you can see it's me. And I'm thinking, shit, I don't even remember it. I don't remember doing that at all.
This is why I think, I mean, a lot of people talk about addiction now, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
But this is why I think your story is really important.
Mm.
One, because as I said 5 minutes ago, it's really important to have compassion for the boy you were, because that boy became this character because he wasn't looked after properly.
Mm.
And we have to look after our boys. We have to look after our girls.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
And as a society, we need to get a lot fucking better at it as well.
I think so too.
We really do. I'm going to get emotional. I really feel for the boys and girls at the minute.
Mm.
The digital world, AI world, the way the school system is fucked.
Yeah.
Not the teachers, the system. The way that we've lost law and order. We've lost love, actually.
We have, yeah.
So although kids will get picked up, because the systems are so broken, very political, I know, but because the systems are so broken, we are not able to look after people properly. And culturally, we got it wrong then.
Yeah.
So we're still dealing with the overspill of that, because you're okay now, right? But a lot of those people of our age that grew up in a situation where culturally we didn't give a shit are raising children now.
Yeah, that's right.
In a world that is full of digital dopamine hits everywhere. Violence is at the touch of a button. So is pornography. Even though they've tried to tighten up the laws, all you've got to do is
access to everything.
They can get access to anything.
Kids have got access to everything.
So everything they're seeing is infecting and affecting their little brains.
Yeah.
The school system can't cope with them because it's broken. The medical system is overwhelmed and can't cope with them because it's broken.
Yeah.
We've got political issues that are so profoundly disturbing right now that the world isn't focusing on the right things anymore. Like I say, we've lost love.
Yeah.
So my thing of this is, you were a kid that needed to be looked after properly. You were not. As a society, we need to hear these stories, because what happened to that little boy that was just an innocent little boy that happened to have a neurobiological response to alcohol, that was very sensitive to alcohol, probably autistic and ADHD, undiagnosed, unseen, unheard, unnoticed, becomes a man that cannot even remember biting another man's nose off. That's a fucking dangerous man.
It certainly is. Scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Even now, it scares the shit out of me.
Me too,
because I think, I don't drink anymore. I don't behave like that.
No.
But I know I'm capable.
Yeah.
And
of being dangerous.
That's frightening. That's a frightening thought. And that wasn't the first time. I didn't bite anybody's nose off again, of course.
You weren't it wasn't your favourite thing to do.
No, but there were other incidents. There were other things were happening that I had no recollection of at all.
Yeah.
That was my first big sentence. I was beating people up. I was starting on people in the streets, which were the smaller crimes. The second heavy crime that I got done for, which I got another hefty sentence for, was I attacked a barman in a pub. I jumped over the bar because he wasn't serving me quick enough. I jumped over the bar, beat the living shit out of him, stomping on him on the floor, stomping on his head and everything. He's in a bloody pile on the floor, and I'm standing over his body, pouring myself pint after pint, drinking it, And then once I'd had about 2 or 3 pints, necked him, and I just went, right, I'm off, see you later. The people are running out the pub on the phone to the police, like, there's a guy in here, and I walk out the pub, get nicked, wake up the next day, I get nicked that day, wake up the next day, so even the very next day, not 2 weeks later like the first one, the very next day, I wake up in the cell, come on, Mr. Phipps-Warren, Lord Phipps-Warren, come with us, your interview time, show me the footage, I ain't got a clue, don't remember any of it.
What's scary about this is I think one of the things that I know is that addiction in itself is narcissistic, because when you're in addiction, which by the way, we call it a disease, but it's not a disease. It's a neurobiological difference and all of those things, neurodevelopmental differences. Very complex is addiction. That's what I'll say. Very complex, clearly. But it switches something off in the brain, empathy, rational thinking. Remember I said earlier when you were emotionally flooded?
Yeah.
So that moment he wasn't serving me quickly enough. By this point, you're an alcoholic anyway. What the fuck? Who does he think he is?
Oh, yeah.
So emotionally flooded, fight flights kicked in, left side's lost Wi-Fi, rational thinking. But not only that, you're so drunk, you're not even remembering all of this.
I don't even remember it. It's like blackouts. It's like literally, it's like I had a 30-year blackout.
Wow.
30. I remember snippets here and there and little tiny fragments.
Yeah.
But pretty much, people will go out, regular people, they'll have a weekend and they'll get on it and they'll have a bit, I don't really remember much about that weekend.
Yeah.
I had 30 years of that.
Jesus
so when
Christ.
I sobered up and stuff and I had to piece everything back together, it was very, very, very difficult for me to put it all back together.
Well, it's like...
And it was a shock as well. Like going through my DBS, I was like, is it really this long? It's 8 pages long. So I'm looking at the DBS because I wanted to write the books.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to put some bits in there. I didn't put everything in there. A lot of them are drunk and I think there's 17 drunk and disorderlies on there, and there's a couple of heavier crimes that I did prison for. There's a battery on there. There's like some affrays on there. So there's a few bits and pieces on there. But I'm looking at it thinking, is it really this long? Like, why is it so fucking long? Was I really this bad?
God.
Because I don't remember doing half of these things, or any of them, in fact.
You completely dissociated.
And that's scary. I could have killed somebody, Ella, and not remembered it.
That's where you said you were dangerous.
Yeah.
So dissociated and completely fragmented. Fragmented.
Just for the record, I haven't killed anybody, by the way.
But what you're saying is...
all of my crime, the police knew me. They know me very well now, but they know me for the right reasons now, which is fantastic. But the police knew me. They knew me by name. They knew exactly what I looked like. They knew everything. Every crime I committed, I got arrested for. Yeah. I couldn't even glare at somebody in the town without getting nicked for it. And getting in trouble for it. So there's no crimes that I can talk about where I haven't been arrested and charged and gone to court, which is why I talk about it so openly. Yeah. Because I need people to realise, or I want people to realise, how far you can really go, or what alcohol can really do to some people. Because I know some people that are a little bit like I was. Yeah. And I can see them in the town and I'm thinking, you're going down the path I was going down. Yeah. I can see it, even some friends. Yeah. And I look at them and I think, I really, really want to help. And I do try and help, and I do talk to them and I try and help them. And I do get a lot of positive feedback now because of what I do now. Yeah. And trying to help people now. But it's very, very frightening when alcohol can sort of turn somebody into that.
I've seen it.
And we don't remember. We've all been there. Everybody's had a night they don't remember on the booze. Everybody must have
Me
done
including,
it. Yeah, everybody. But you imagine waking up one day in a police cell and they're telling you bit someone's nose off. It's like, did I? Nah, it wasn't me. It couldn't have been me. And then you see it on camera. That's frightening. That's a frightening place to be. Yeah. And it didn't end there. That should have been enough for me to go, I need to stop drinking. That should have been enough, but it wasn't. I went to rehab after that.
So is this before you were in prison? Because you got 8 years for that.
So I did 4.
You did 4.
And I came out. I'm trying to put the bloody dates together now. So I got an 8-year sentence, did 4. Yeah. Came out, I was still on licence. Yeah. Which is why I got such a long sentence for the other crime.
Got you.
Because I'd committed that crime while I was still on licence for the other one.
Right.
So I got a hefty sentence. So
Yeah.
I only did 7 years altogether.
Yeah.
In 2 sentences.
Which is more than enough.
It's enough, but it's a fragment really compared to like what some people.
Can I ask you what you got? So let me just put this in here. 7 years, one for biting a man's nose off, which was 8 years with a 4 years actual stint.
Yeah.
And then the second crime was
6.
6 years. And what was the second crime?
It was I think it was a battery GBH.
Of
ABH.
In a fight, in a brawl,
It was the guy in the bar.
The guy in the bar,
when
right?
I jumped
so that
over
one.
the bar.
I see. So you were on licence when you did that.
When I did that.
Right. The reason I say this is because although they're horrific crimes, don't get me wrong, you can see that some crimes that people get so much more sentencing.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we, as I covered with Brad, who you've just watched and I've just put out yesterday, it would have been the 3rd of July it went out. Was it yesterday? No, sorry, the 2nd of July it went out. We were talking about pedophiles, weren't we? In that episode?
It was a good watch, that one. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, Brad's brilliant. Brad, I love Brad.
Yeah. I follow him as well.
Yeah.
See, I would class him as a hard man.
Yes.
I would class him as a hard man, where I'm nothing like, put me in a ring with him and I'll fucking piss myself.
Well, for those that didn't watch it, he's a bare knuckle fighter, so that's his job.
There you go, of course. But I would class him as a hard man.
Yeah.
Whereas I would see myself as more of a dangerous man, but only when I was drinking.
Yeah.
Because sober, I wouldn't hurt a fly. I'm a teddy bear.
But he was a dangerous man when he was angry as well. Like he
I saw
someone with a machete.
Exactly that. Yeah.
So I think whether you're drinking or just driven by something insidious, you become a dangerous man. Men can be dangerous. I mean, women can be.
They can be. Yeah.
Women can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
We can all be dangerous. But the reason I asked that is because, again, you were a boy that needed a lot of support and you became a dangerous man.
Yeah.
And the sentences that you got were probably the right sentences for that time. I don't know. There might be an argument with that. But I'm just saying the justice system is so far behind as well because we've spoken about the systems. And I'm just saying systemically, we are not getting this right. And
well, they made a bit of an example out of me as well because I had, when I got done with these bigger crimes as well, I got quite large sentences. And, I could have got more, to be honest. But I'd already built up a criminal record by then.
Yeah.
I'd already had smaller crimes and lots of drunkenness, and they were looking at that as well.
Of course, they were going, is this person safe?
And I remember the judge as well. I won't say his name, but I remember the judge, and he was prolific for chucking people down.
Was he really?
He was always banging
Why is he
people
not
up.
being the judge on the penal cases?
Well, I know. Well, I think he's dead now.
Well, look at these two boys.
It'd be nice to have him around now because he was banging people up here everywhere.
Well, like the case with the teenage boys that raped the girl, and the judge was very lenient on it. If you remember, because they had ADHD and they were remorseful. Even though it was filmed, and the evidence was that they raped this little girl and groomed her. They got away with it, and then there's a female judge that's just reviewed it, although she did a really shit job of it actually, but she's reviewed it and said he was too lenient. What the fuck, these kids filmed it, and it was like, oh well, they've got ADHD and I think they feel bad for it, so we'll let them off.
Well, exactly, which baffles me because no type of ADHD or autism, the law should be the law for everyone.
Absolutely,
it should be the same for everybody. Murder 25 years, ADHD 25 years, autistic 25 years.
You don't just
got one leg 25 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes no difference. No. I think it really, really baffles me that people get different sentences
me too.
for the same crimes, but they get different sentences. I find that really weird.
Well, like you say,
I find it very bizarre.
It's
I've
the
never
judge.
understood it. It's
you
the
happened
judge.
to get one that was tough.
Yeah, it's the judge at the time.
Yeah.
But, and that was a horrific time of my life. But when I was inside, I wasn't drinking inside.
No.
So I thought that would be my opportunity to sober up. And I did. But as soon as I came out, the first day I was released from prison, I went straight back over to the shop, grabbed a bottle of booze, and I'm right back on the streets drinking it again.
Well, Brad said this, didn't he? He said in his, because obviously his was more coke, he said he spent 10 years without taking coke, but that didn't mean he was reformed from it. Because he wasn't choosing to be rehabilitated.
That's the thing. And I wasn't ready to change anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't actually want to. I wasn't in prison going, I'll sober up and I'll just change my life. I was going, I can't drink in here anyway, and I'm pissed off about that, but I'm just going to accept it. And then, it sort of started to like wean its way in. I was thinking, maybe I could come off it, maybe I could, get myself off the booze and start a new life.
Yeah.
But when it started to get close to my release, and I was an enhanced prisoner, so I was up on the 4s on the wing.
Right.
And I got attacked in prison by 2 other inmates. And I think this was a repercussion of my drinking on the outside. Because I used to upset people and quite hard people, I got done in prison. I got into a scuffle, and I'm having this little scuffle with this fella, and another guy comes up behind me, jumps on my back, they get me to the floor, and they put my ankle over the metal staircase that goes up to the 4s and stuff, and he fucking jumps on it. So it's like that, and he jumps on it, and my ankle goes crack and shatters. So I had to go to hospital and get it all. I've got all metalwork and stuff in there, and which was a bloody nightmare for me because that made my sentence 10 times harder. So I was quite comfortable up on the 4s as an enhanced prisoner. Now I had to come back down to the 1s with all the dickheads because I couldn't go up and down the stairs on the crutches. They wouldn't let me, the screws wouldn't let me. So I'm back down on the bottom. I can't go to the servery and get my food because I can't carry it. So it was an absolute nightmare. So my sentence got really, really difficult then. So that was a pain in the ass as well. And you'd think all of these things happening to me would have made me go, maybe I should stop drinking because all this bad, horrible stuff that's happening, I'm manifesting all of this myself, all of this bad energy that I'm putting out into the world is coming back to me and it's creating this horrible life for me. So why can't I just stop?
Yeah.
Why can't I say, you know what, I've had enough of this shit. Why can't I just stop?
Yeah.
And I just didn't. It took, I eventually did, but it took a bloody horrific act for me to actually stop and realise I was going to stop.
But can I say here, I think when we talk about stopping from drinking and cocaine and heroin and these other drugs that people take, I mean, there's all sorts on the streets now. I don't know the name for half of the stuff.
Yeah.
But when we talk about that, we're talking about it as though it's like for me, we had this conversation, didn't we? For me, I can drink a bottle of wine and then not drink again for 6 months.
Yeah.
But that's because I don't have the same neurochemistry as you. I don't have the same... I do have an addictive personality, mind you.
Yeah.
And I've got some toxic parts of my personality, of course, like most people have. It's just most people don't admit it.
Yeah.
But I don't happen at this moment in time to have the neurochemistry that gets hooked. Mind you, I say that. I've never taken cocaine.
No.
I took speed once.
Yeah.
It was my 19th birthday.
Yeah.
And I took speed once, and I won't say too much, but all that happened was I was able to stay awake for a really, really, really long time.
Yeah.
The next day, I went to go to the pub, and I remember walking up the street and a cat came out of a garden. And this is the next day, mind you, and I have never been so frightened in my life because I was on some kind of weird come down that I'd never experienced before.
Yeah.
I drank a lot, so I was used to throwing up in my own hair and sleeping in my own vomit, which was, of course, very glamorous and attractive. But what I wasn't used to is this sort of strange, weird, scary, anxious feeling afterwards.
The come down.
The come down. So I had never been frightened of anything before, and a cat came out of a garden very slowly, may I add. I absolutely have never felt so terrified in my life. So I decided then and there, this isn't for me.
That's not for you. It's put you off,
It's put me off.
Yeah.
But other people wouldn't have the same neurochemistry.
Yeah.
I carried on drinking even though I was being sick in my own hair. Obviously, I wouldn't do that now, but the drug side of it just didn't do anything for me.
And it didn't really for me either. Now, I never really was big on drugs as such. I did dabble with cocaine a bit. Yeah. But I only really did that when I was pissed. I never took cocaine sober.
No, that's very common actually, isn't it?
Alcohol was the big one for me.
Yeah, alcohol starts the coke.
This is why I don't really talk about cocaine so much.
Yeah.
Because cocaine wasn't the problem.
Alcohol was.
It was the alcohol.
It's a very good point. And a lot of people do that. They take cocaine so they can carry on drinking.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Keeps them up longer. They don't get so drunk. And, I'd still get drunk. I would drink till my belly would swell, throw it all up. And start again. And fill it up again.
There was a man in the pub I used to drink with. And I was 19 and this was his top tip. He said, Ella, and he was obviously an alcoholic, when you drink, throw it up and then you'll be able to carry on for longer. And I was like, great idea. I'll start doing that.
But that's when you're developing a problem.
Well, yeah.
When you're starting to throw it all up to make room for more, you know it's a problem. And this is how my life went for 30 years, on and off.
How is your liver?
It's recovering now.
Yeah, because it does regenerate and recover
It's
the liver.
recovering. So I had lots and lots of tests. I was very ill, actually, when I first sobered up.
I bet.
I got very ill. I was in that hospital. I used to pass out and have these funny turns and shaky and...
Did you find that your brain wasn't working effectively as well?
No, had foggy brain. I was tired and I was
Were you
haggy
forgetting things?
Yeah, it was really weird. But like, I used to get horrible cramps.
Yeah.
Really bad cramps.
Really painful tummy.
And my missus would phone the bloody ambulance and they'd come and get me and take me in and they put me on a drip and give me morphine because I was in agonising pain.
Was it the liver?
Well, they said it was a mixture of things, but one of the things, now I don't know if this is alcohol related or not, but it must be in some kind of way. But they said my calcium was through the roof and they thought I'd developed some kind of cancer, like a bowel cancer.
Oh my God.
Yes, and it was absolutely terrifying. So I had to go through loads of tests for that.
Wow.
So, and it turned out they couldn't find any visible tumours or anything.
It's got to have been the inflammation from alcohol.
It was inflammation from alcohol.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you a funny thing. Now, you had Brad on here, the bare knuckle fighter. You know the way he sounds?
Yeah.
I went through a phase of my life towards the end of my drinking. My voice was the same. And the doctors told me it was all of my throat
had been burnt out.
Was burning out.
He did mention that off camera, actually, with the cocaine, yeah.
My throat was red raw from all the drink. Was just stripping it away. Yeah. And he's got a very unique voice. It maybe wasn't quite as gruffly as his. Yeah. But it was close. Yeah. And I mean, it's still got a little bit of a twing to it now. Yeah. But nothing like it used to be. But and the doctors were saying your throat is red raw. Yeah.
Was it painful?
It was painful. And when because I used to still drink with it.
Yeah.
It would hurt to drink.
Yeah, I know.
I was all right with beers and stuff. It wasn't so bad.
It's wine
cold beers.
and vodka.
But the spirits, I'd drink it and it'd be like razor blades.
Yep.
But I'd still drink it. This is the scary thing.
That's when you know you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, I'd still drink it. And it was absolutely horrendous. And that's how it went for 30 years, you know. Like even in did I tell you about rehab and just getting the booze in?
Yeah, you said you're in rehab and you found a way.
I found a way. I was smuggling it, getting the lads to drop it off at the train station, which was 2 miles away. I'd sneak out at night. So I'd come out the window, climb over the roof.
What, like the milk tray man, all in black?
Yeah, literally. And I'd run through the fields as fast as I could, get to the booze, cheers guys, and I'd walk back drinking it. So it was about a 2 mile walk. So it was a good sort of like nice hour or so stroll. And I'd drink the booze. And by the time I got back there, I'd chuck it in a bush somewhere and go back to my room and go to bed. And I was probably doing that twice a week for 3 months.
So you wouldn't, because again, the idea of rehab, and I think there's some great rehabs out there, obviously, but you have to want it.
You've got to want it.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want it. And it was actually a friend that put me in touch with that rehab and he sorted it all out for me. He made all the phone calls.
There's
he drove
the first
me up there.
mistake.
Yeah. And because I was homeless as well.
So it's somewhere to live.
I thought, here we go. So roof over my head.
Yeah.
I'll get 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go. And I was in there and I was like, yeah, it's nice to be warm, but I'm not getting my booze. So I wasn't ready. So that didn't work. So I ended up back out on the streets again after sort of being the sort of rehab booze smuggler and getting caught and whatnot. So that was me out. And then it all started to change. Then after that, I was back on the streets. So come out of rehab, I'm back on the streets, I'm drinking again, and the things got really, really dark, took a really dark turn, and that was when the suicide attempt happened.
Right.
So the suicide attempt came along where I tried to take my life, tried to hang myself in my mate's flat with a belt on the light fitting. I was absolutely trolleyed and I'd had enough. I'd literally had enough. I thought, I can't live like this anymore. And by this time as well, by this point, my entire community in Torquay had shunned me. Yeah. I'm now banned from every pub and nightclub in Torquay, Paynton and Brixham, which are the 3 towns along the seafront. Yeah. Torbay, we call it. There's 3 towns in Torbay, Torquay, Paynton, Brixham. I'm banned from everywhere. Yeah. I was even banned from the restaurants. They wouldn't let me in because I was that much of a nuisance. So I say a nuisance, that's a nice way of putting it. Yeah. I remember going off topic now. But I remember going to a restaurant, Las Iguanas it was called, lovely place, right on the seafront. And I was pissed up there and started throwing tables and chairs around.
Bloody hell.
Near missing kids and stuff.
Bloody hell.
I
can't imagine you like
no,
that.
No, and the police turn up. They taser me in the chest. I didn't go down, so I was that pissed.
Oh my
Another
God.
one comes into my back, tasers me in the back. I don't go down, but it was enough to make me drop the chair, and then they bundle me. I got done for a drunken disorderly. Luckily, a drunken disorderly, because no one got hurt, and it was just me throwing a few fucking chairs around. But even so, I didn't remember doing that either. But anyway, this is how my life was on and off for 30 odd years. And it got to the point where I'd had enough and I thought, I got to get out of this. How can I get out of it? And the only way I thought would be to get out of it was to sort of do myself in. And luckily, I managed to survive it because it turned out, and I passed out because I remember attaching the belt, put the belt around my neck, and I took the lamp shade off and I put the, attached it to the wires where the light, where they put the bulb in. And I kicked the chair away and I remember hanging there. It was holding my weight and I remember hanging there and I obviously passed out. So I don't remember anything after that. And all of a sudden I wake up on the floor.
So it didn't take your weight?
Eventually it couldn't hold my weight.
Thank God.
Yes, absolutely. And I look up and all the wires are fucking pulled through the ceiling. And there's like plaster around me where it's come through and there's a big hole in the ceiling.
That was going to be my first question. Did it take your weight? Because
for a little while it did. It took my weight long enough for me to pass out. And then I woke up on the floor. And do you know what?
What was your first thought?
Thank fuck for that.
Oh, God.
And I'll tell you something, yeah, and this is one of the reasons I tell my story, because I know there's people out there with drink and drug problems and they think the only way out is to take their life.
Yes, I know. I know. And I've got a friend going through it right now.
But you ask somebody who's tried and survived, they will tell you it's not fucking worth it.
No.
Most people that survive their suicide attempts, most people, 9 out of 10, will say, thank God I survived.
Yeah, you're right. It's just so hard. I mean, I have got a friend that's going through it at the minute and...
It's very sad. And I've lost
sad.
some friends who were through similar things, drinking drugs, and they've took their own lives. There's a few of them. And it's really sad. And that was the turning point for me.
Yeah.
That was literally the day I went, time to change. And I went back into rehab and I actually made it work that time.
Fucking hell. I mean, you're lucky because so many people do that and they don't make it on the other side and they don't get the opportunity to say, thank God that didn't work.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because the way I looked at it, but because there are people out there that will try, fail and go, fuck it, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a different kind of experience.
Yeah.
It was why did that not work?
Yeah, you went introspective with it.
Yes, and I thought somebody somewhere, or the universe, did not want me to go that day.
You were
and
saved.
there's a reason. There has to be a reason why that didn't work. And what is that reason? I'm telling you now, I really believe it was to write those inner upgrade books. I think that was the reason why I survived, to tell my story so I can now help other people.
Please, can I say something here?
Yeah.
We were talking a little while ago and I want to remember to put this in. And a lot of, I mentioned, and people know about my neuroelectrics method. My neuroelectrics method is very much based on psychoanalysis, subconscious mapping, trauma work, but also quantum mechanics. And I love the law of physics. I love the law of observation. Einstein said, the way we see reality is how we observe it. I love neuroplasticity. I love neuroscience, but I also love the woo-woo. And
I do.
Yes. And you said something earlier, so we'll go into the woo-woo now and the books a little bit. This is kind of like the final chapter of the podcast because this is where it gets good.
Yes.
So you mentioned that your favourite film, and one of my all-time favourites too, growing up, was
The Labyrinth.
Yes. And you said that actually you now believe that you'd already mapped your entire life out.
I do, because I watched that film, and this goes back to the ADHD autism thing. I watched that film on repeat 3 times a day as a child.
Yeah.
And I think I subconsciously mapped out my life. So Sarah, in The Labyrinth, of course, who goes on the journey through the labyrinth, she is me.
Yeah.
And oh God, makes me emotional.
Aww. And for those that haven't watched The Labyrinth, I strongly recommend it after listening to this.
Yeah, so it's weird because I didn't realise this as a kid watching it. It was just a good film to me. You know
It was
what
a
I mean?
brilliant film.
It was just a lovely film, you know. I loved the songs. I loved David
characters.
Bowie in it, the characters and all
David
of this.
Bowie in that film was amazing.
Yeah, incredible. And anyway, you know, Sarah goes on this massive, you know, she loses her little brother because the Goblin King comes and steals him away, and she has to go through the labyrinth to rescue him. And I believe now, like looking at, when I watch that film now as an adult, it's very symbolic of my life. I think that labyrinth was my journey through through my addiction, and all the things that Sarah faces and the monsters that she faces and all the battles she has to go through was all my battles with addiction, my crimes, everything like that.
Yeah.
And at the end, there's a really powerful sort of poem. It says something along the lines of, I can't quote it word for word, but the one little quote that stands out for me and always does, it was, you have no power over me.
Yeah.
And that was, God, fucking hell.
Aww. Let it out. This is the place.
Oh, dear.
Let it out. Because go to that. What comes up for you when you say that?
Well, it's like, that's like me to the booze.
Yeah.
You know, fuck you.
But also to the darkness in your own mind. Because you talk about the monsters as the addiction, but many people will relate to you and to me and to loads of us that have had this darkness. There are parts of us that are dark. I've said it a few times. We've got these toxic, dark shadow parts.
Oh, dear.
And sometimes they are the most powerful parts of us.
Yeah.
And they're the monsters inside of us. And we're so ashamed of them. And we feel so much guilt, and we don't let other people see them because we think we're going to be rejected, or we think we won't be loved anymore. We think we're not good enough, and we think that society doesn't want us. And actually for you, for a really long period of time as a boy, society didn't want you. It didn't deal with you. And so when you say it has no power over me, it's all of that has no power over you because you are a being of light and love. And that just wasn't allowed to flourish properly.
Yeah.
And now it is your time.
It is now, but it's just such an overwhelming emotion.
I know.
You know, it's so powerful. I can't watch that film the same anymore.
No.
It's still my favourite film. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, it will always be my favourite film. It hasn't changed anything. The only thing it's changed is when I was a kid, it was a wonderful fantasy film that I grew up with. Now it's so symbolic. There's so much in there that I just go, that's me, you know.
Yeah.
And that it's tough sometimes to sort of accept,
But you know, you have to have this pain and this moment of emotion because, and that's not just on this podcast, but in day-to-day life, because as I said before, you have to be able to show compassion to the darkness as well as the light, because they have to exist. You know, we have to integrate them.
Yeah.
They can't exist separately. These parts, these fragments, these bits that we're dissociated from, the bits that we're ashamed of, if we don't integrate them into the whole and we don't learn to love the whole, even the bit where you bite someone's nose off, if we don't learn to love all of that and we don't learn to see ourselves through the lens of compassion, we can never do anything positive in society. And that's where manifestation comes from. You have to change the energetic flow.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. And another thing that film does for me is because I have those emotions when I watch that now. Yeah. It makes me think, do you know what? I may have been an arsehole, but I know I'm not anymore. Because
you can still feel with the heart.
Yeah. I've still got it in there, you know. I've still got there's still love in there. I can still feel emotion.
I can feel that about you.
Yeah, so
straight away.
Yeah, so I know it's there, which is good.
It's your energy.
Yeah, which
You've
is
switched
nice
it.
because
You've switched it.
There was a time I wouldn't have given a shit.
No,
I wouldn't have cared. When I was drinking, I wouldn't have cared. If I was pissed up and watched The Labyrinth, I wouldn't have that. I only have that now I'm sober.
The truth is, though, you were always there. This light being, the love, the heart, it was always there. It just got really, really, you got dominated by the dark.
Yeah, it was clouded. It was, you know, I was sinking really in this sort of like muddy waters, just going deeper and deeper.
Swamp.
And that's how it went, you know. But, you know, once I snapped out of it, it's just incredible how things sort of changed for me.
So basically, by trying to take your own life, you found yourself.
I found myself again. I really did. And, you know, it was almost instantly, like once I'd gone through the kind of process of being a bit ill, and because I went back to rehab after that.
Yeah.
When I tried to take my life, I was like, no, back to rehab, give it a proper shot this time. I'm ready now.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the change. So, and I made it happen. And I'm this big believer if you want to get anything done in this world, you've got to do it. You've just got to get on and do it.
You've got to do it, yeah.
You can talk about it all you want.
But you've got to do it.
But you've got to do it, and you've got to want to do it.
That's it. You've got to. It comes. There's a magic within all of us, but we have to go to a place where we can find it.
Yeah.
For some people, that's the edge of a cliff. Some people, it's falling on the floor after. For some people, it's just being loved enough to be able to see it in themselves.
Exactly that. And that's what happened. And I had that moment, and I was like, do you know what? I'm ready now. Let's see what I can do. And the first most important thing was, let's get sober.
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. I didn't even have the idea for the Inner Upgrade books or any of that at that point. It was just, let's just get sober.
Yeah.
Let's get over this one day. You know, I need a drink. I need a drink. I need a drink. No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Let's get myself feeling better. Started going to the gym a bit more. Started to eat a little bit better. Started to look after myself. All these little small steps in the right
domino
direction.
Effect.
Yeah. And eventually I was like, I think I've cracked it. Now, I say I think I've cracked it because I never want to be confident enough to say I've fully cracked it.
I respect that.
Because if I do, I'm more likely to fuck up.
I respect that.
I think you have to, and I think it's David Bowie that said this, you have to keep yourself slightly out of your depth.
Yes.
Don't get too comfortable.
That's so true.
Yeah, and as being a Labyrinth fan, we love David Bowie.
We love it.
I believe that's what he said because he was an alcoholic too.
That's right.
And I think he said, when you're swimming out in the waters and your feet just barely touch the floor, that's where you want to be all the time.
All the time.
So I never ever say I fully cracked it. Good. Because if I do, I'm too overconfident and I'm too much in my comfort zone. My feet are firmly on the ground and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone.
It's what I said about mediocrity.
Yeah.
Do it even though it feels uncomfortable, because that is where you find yourself.
Yeah, you've got to be slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Not so uncomfortable that you're going to slip back into old habits.
True.
But just enough to keep you moving forward.
That's it.
Just enough to keep you progressing.
And to be humble.
And to be humble with it.
Yeah.
And once you find that sweet spot, great things happen. And I'm living proof of that.
Well, this is the manifestation bit. So you've written the the trilogy, to the final one today, the Inner Upgrade books.
Yes.
And the first one, if I'm right, talks about your recovery, really.
Pretty much.
But you really love the law of attraction.
Yes.
And you really believe in manifestation.
I do.
And I could give, a lot of people think that's magical thinking. I don't want to bore everyone to tears with the science behind it, the quantum mechanics. All I'll say is two things. To anyone that wants to understand this more, just go onto YouTube or follow someone like Joe Dispenza, look at quantum mechanics, look at quantum physics, look at some of Einstein's work, look at the physics in general, and understand that there is science to manifestation. It isn't just magical thinking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Although the way we think affects our reality. I said earlier, thoughts create emotions, which is a chemical response which creates the sat-nav, which rules the brain, which creates identity, beliefs, and that becomes your energy.
Thoughts become things. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to tell you a very funny story, and this happens today. This is just a prime example of
today
of thoughts become things.
Okay.
Right? When I was on the train, when I came up here this morning on the train, I had a grey shirt on.
Yeah.
Button-up shirt. And some woman sat next to me and she had a coffee in her hand. And my brain said, I bet you anything she's going to fucking spill that coffee on my shirt. That's what I thought. For some mad, and I'm not even having you on. This is 100% true. And I'm sat there and she was a little bit erratic with it, you know, and she's doing work on her laptop and she's putting her coffee here and she's putting it down a bit aggressive. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, don't you get that on my shirt? I've got a nice grey shirt on.
And also, this is why I've got tattoos on my face, woman.
Yeah, exactly.
So you stay away.
You want to keep your nose. I shouldn't say that. But anyway, I'm thinking she is going to spill that coffee on me. And do you know what? Within half an hour, that coffee fell over and it went all over my shirt. And when I got off the train, I went into Northampton. I was asking people, where's JD Sports? And I went and bought this one because I didn't want it. And I threw the other one in the bin.
Oh, bless you. Was it a nice shirt?
It was quite a nice shirt, yeah.
What a shame.
To be honest, right, I'm so sorry, mate, if you watch this, but my mate gave it to me.
Oh, no.
He gave it to me for this podcast. So I am a bit gutted. But that's the truth. I got coffee all over it.
But you look amazing in your gold and black. Black and gold works beautifully.
I like black and gold. You know?
And actually, you pop against my pink flowers now.
Yeah, it's the gold tooth, isn't it?
It just all works.
Gives it a glimmer.
Yeah, you have this vibe.
That's God's honest truth. And I thought to myself, there you go. Thoughts become things, because I manifested that happening.
Yes.
100%. Now, it could be coincidence, but I don't believe in
Synchronicity.
coincidence.
You weren't meant to wear that shirt.
No, it wasn't supposed to
No.
be. And she spilt that on, and she was very apologetic. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't all that like, but, no, it was enough for me to go, I can't wear this.
What a shame.
And I knew it was going to happen.
And yet you still sat there and didn't move.
Yeah, I was like, don't worry about it. It's fine, don't worry. And
I wonder what this... I mean, look, we've got some grey on that wall there, which I don't think you get to see on camera because it's firmly on you. So maybe, and a little bit of grey there, maybe you just weren't meant to wear grey because you would have just got lost.
Exactly. I would have got washed out in the background.
And like I said...
This is the strange thing about life and, law of attraction and manifestation. It's a real thing. I really believe in it.
And also, it might not actually have anything to do with today. Like, there's another reason that coffee got spilled. And I know we're looking into the real magical thinking here, but every second of every day leads on to something else.
Of course.
And it may not actually be about your shirt. It might be about her.
Yeah.
We just don't know,
could have changed her day completely,
Yeah.
And it could change the person sat behind us.
That's right. We just don't know what's going on.
It goes deeper and deeper and deeper.
Very
deeper
deep.
into the labyrinth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Into the oubliette.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
I know exactly what you mean.
But it's true. It's very true. And, you could do a whole 24-hour podcast on this topic.
I would love to.
And it would be amazing. Get me involved. But, manifestation, law of attraction, energies.
I believe in it.
Alignment of energies and thoughts and patterns.
Everything's for a reason.
It's
good or bad.
It's incredible. And I really believe that that's what saved me that day. And because of the things I do now, and I don't say this to gloat, or anything like that. I do what I do because I want to help other people.
And because you're meant to do it. It's the part, like you say, your whole life is mapped out.
Well, it's led to an incredible thing through my journey as an author anyway.
Yeah, so because you're taking on a really impressive, special project. And and you've been, let me tell there's a girl, and actually I'm hoping she's going to come on here because she did ask me. Her name is Kelly. Yeah. I'll let you tell more about Kelly.
Yeah.
So I'll be contacting her again after this because I lost the thread with her. But she's got an incredible story, and she'd been approached by other people to write her story, and she knows that it was you. The reason she said no to those people is because she needed you. Yeah. And she didn't know that until she knew that.
She didn't know that until quite recently. We've only just signed the contract.
Wow. So talk about Kelly a minute. So you're writing a book about their lives.
It's Kelly and James.
Yeah.
So Kelly Higgins and James Bagnall, and they are the son and daughter of Bernadette McNeely. Mm-hmm. Bernadette McNeely was one of the 6 satanic killers. They were in a satanic cult, and they tortured and murdered Suzanne Capper.
That's right. You can Google that story. It's a huge story.
It's one of the UK's most notorious crime stories.
Yeah.
It was washed away a little bit because it happened at the same time as the James Bulger case.
That's right.
And that took the media's attention.
That's right.
However,
or because it was satanic, and I've just got to say this because this is my belief, satanic abuse has been going on at the upper echelons for a really long time. Yeah. So I'm not saying James Bulger shouldn't have been covered because it absolutely should.
Yeah, of course.
But why would they expose satanic ritual abuse when it's something that we know is going on in the upper echelons?
Of course, it's very sort of like,
It was washed away on purpose.
It was washed away on purpose. It was hidden. Although it was still there, it was still in the media.
Yeah, but just not highlighted.
It didn't take as much attention as the Bulger case. So then when that started to wash away, it came back to light. Now there's multiple documentaries about this case.
Yeah.
Kelly and James, lovely people.
Yeah.
Kelly's in her 40s now.
Yes.
So she's been approached since the age of 15.
Yeah.
To write, people wanting to write her books, publishing companies, indie authors, self-publishing authors. People have been hounding her. Can we write your book? Can we write your book? And she's always said no. She didn't know me when she was 15. No. She didn't know anything about me.
No.
And it's only recently we sort of got in touch through another podcast.
Yes.
We were on the same podcast at different times, of course. Mm-hmm. And she came across me, and she heard my story, heard of the Inner Upgrade books and what I'd been through and what I'd written. Mm-hmm. So she had a little bit of an idea about my journey as an author, and for something clicked with her, and she had this connection with me and said, I want him to write my books.
Wow.
So when she asked me to do this, I instantly said yes, because I already knew a lot about Kelly anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about James at the time because he's a lot more quiet.
He's a bit more in the background, isn't he? Kelly's more up front.
It happened to both. What those children went through is horrendous.
I know.
I won't go into detail on here.
No.
Because I'm going to talk about it in their book.
And also Kelly's probably going to come on and do her version.
Kelly will talk about it openly.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. This is the first time it's going to be in the written word.
Yes.
It's the first book that's going to be written about their accounts of what happened.
Yeah.
And it is horrendous. And they're survivors. They're incredible people.
Beyond survivors.
And they asked me if I would write their book for them, and I agreed. I said I'd be absolutely honoured. I've never read true crime before.
No.
But I have wrote my own life memoirs. So I am confident that I can write theirs. It's going to be a massive challenge for me as an author because I have to dive deep into their memories.
Yes, you do. And it's going to be very difficult.
It's going to be very difficult.
Very, very painful story.
It really is. But the beauty of, there's going to be some really difficult chapters in this book.
Yeah.
But this book is about Kelly and James. It's not about Bernadette McNeely. It's not about their mum. It's not about what... We will touch on what happened with Suzanne Capper, of course. We will touch on their mum because that's what brings them into the story.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling the story of what happened to Suzanne Capper.
No.
That's been told.
Yeah.
There's books made of that. There's documentaries made of that. Emma Kenny did a really good documentary about that.
Yeah.
I'm telling their story.
Yeah.
This is their story.
Yeah.
So that's I'm honoured, really, that they've asked me to do that. So for me it
is an honour, it's a privilege, and it says a lot about you.
It really, really is. And the great thing, I mean, I haven't had much of a chance to speak personally with James, but he's over the moon that I'm doing it as well.
Great.
But I speak to Kelly almost daily. We're in touch. And we've got a really good connection.
Beautiful.
Which is fantastic. We get on really, really well. We talk, we're always voice noting each other.
Yeah.
I'm getting to work on this book and I'm keeping her in the loop. And we've got a contract for it, everything has to be done legally and officially.
Especially with a story like that.
Exactly
it's
that.
Safety, isn't it?
And I won't go into too much detail about it, the publishing side of things, but because that's not important at the moment. But it's a story that really needs to be told in the written word.
Yes, it does.
She has told this story.
But you're right, we do need... Look, some people love to listen to podcasts and watch interviews. Some people prefer to read. But also books do something that talking about it can't.
Exactly that. And I think as well for Kelly and James personally, getting it down into the written word is going to be a huge part of their healing journey.
I think you're absolutely right. We both know that because we write.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're right. We know what it's like.
Yeah.
When I wrote the Inner Upgrade books, it was a healing journey for me.
That's why we do it.
I'm healed so much more just from writing my own story.
Yeah, yeah.
So to write theirs and for them to see it come to life and whatnot,
it's so important.
It's going to help them heal. And I'm just honoured to be a part of that and that they've put their trust in me to do that because it's going to be a hell of a book and a hell of a story.
But who better to do it? Someone who really understands darkness, somebody who really understands his own inner demons, somebody who's been fragmented, dissociated, lost, and now found, somebody who has got a really, really big heart, but has probably felt so much pain at times, so lonely, so isolated, so hurt by what other people have done, forgotten about, dismissed, minimised, but also someone who has stepped into parts of his own personality that he's deeply ashamed of. You're a very multifaceted human being and you are a beautiful human being. And the fact is, and this is so important, you've been really open and taken responsibility and accountability for the things that went on after you reached your adulthood. But the bit that will stick with me is the boy in the park on his own and the homelessness and the having to wash in the toilets at school and being forgotten about and not getting what you needed. That's the bit that's going to stick with me. That's the bit that breaks my heart. And it breaks my heart for you personally, sitting here, spending hours with you now. But it just breaks my heart for everybody else that's gone through it. It's so hard to...
And it is going on. There's kids out there doing it. And they're just, do we know about it? Do we see them?
No, we don't.
You
They're
know,
the lost kids of this world.
Exactly.
And the truth is this. I can't look at you now without seeing that little boy. Funnily enough, you've got these tattoos all over your face and all over your body. You got your big gold chain and you look so cool. And you know, and you are cool.
Yeah.
But all I can see is the little boy right now.
Yeah.
And it is something about that part of you that I think still needs to be really loved and looked at a little bit more.
Yeah, I talk about it in my book a lot, especially the After the Inner Upgrade, which has been released today.
Yeah.
That's probably my most personal book out of all three in the trilogy.
Bet, yeah.
Because I talk about it in there, sort of getting sober and sorting my life out. And because it was almost like a 30-year blackout, sometimes I feel like that 15-year-old kid again.
Yeah, you're still there emotionally at times.
It's like I've been transported back.
Yeah.
To being 15 again, because I'll tell you what, I do struggle with things. I struggle to navigate my way around train stations.
Yeah.
You know, I struggle to sort of just everyday normal things that people do growing up, which I didn't really get a chance to do as such.
Well, also,
you know, learning to drive. I never learned to drive.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing
you missed all of that.
I'm doing that now.
Wow.
You know, and I passed my theory test not long ago, and for me that's huge.
Oh, congratulations.
You know, it's massive, and I got my test in September, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I bet you are.
But, you know, I never got to do any of those things. And it's like doing them now as an adult. I got in that car and I felt like a 15-year-old kid. Like, I was shitting myself.
I know, it's horrible learning to drive. I didn't learn until my 30s.
Yeah, and it's just all these experiences and getting your emotions back. And that's really hard as well, sort of you feel like love and anger and, you know.
Especially if you are autistic, which I think you are.
My emotions are wild.
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
I think you've definitely got autism and ADHD. I really do. I think you need to get assessed.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but maybe that's what makes me so creative. I don't know.
Well, don't take it away. I mean, I've got ADHD. I'm not medicated actually because I don't think I could, because my life is set up as so many different. I said to you earlier, I never stop working. I've got so many different projects at once. I think if I'm medicated, I don't know if I'd be able to. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. No. I'm almost scared to find out because. Yeah.
It could change you as well.
Exactly. I don't. It's a tough subject, that one.
Well, I worry about it as well because my partner says to me quite a lot, you know, oh, you're autistic and this thing, we should get tested. And I think, well, what if they give me medication? It makes me a really shit.
But you don't have to take it.
Yeah, but I might take it. It'll make me a really shit writer or something.
Well,
or I
it
might
can
lose
make you quite agitated.
Or I could lose that creative touch because I'll tell you what, I'm full of ideas. Now I'm putting all of my efforts into this story for Kelly and James right now, which is why I brought the final book in the trilogy of the Inner Upgrade forward.
Got you.
It was supposed to come out in September.
Aha.
I've brought it out early.
Right.
So I can put all my efforts into this book. This book is getting my blood, sweat and tears. I'm going to make it just right for them.
I'm so excited to see it for you.
I'm so excited and it has to be just right. So I thought, you know what? I need to get all my other projects out the way first. Yeah. So I can work on this. Yeah. And I'm excited to work on it. Yeah. I want to do in them. They deserve it.
They do deserve it.
They deserve it. My job on this planet now is to help other people, whether it's people in recovery, people with sobriety, whatever. If I have to help other lost children that have been forgotten,
there you go. That's
so be it.
Your little boy is meeting their little girl and their little boy right
exactly
now.
Exactly
that is an energetic meeting.
Yeah.
It's not cognitive, it's not and it's also synchronicity, it's not by chance.
Yeah, totally different stories connecting as one. And you know, I think that's where the connection comes from, especially with me and Kelly. Yeah. Because she always says to me, oh, you know, incredible survivor and all this. And I say the same back to her.
Of course, both of you
you know, we've both had very, very different stories.
Yeah, but you can relate to the same pain.
But we were still just children, exactly. You know, I can't comprehend what they went through.
Did you ever watch Justin Rollins' episode? He wrote a book called The Lost Boys.
No, I don't think I did. Was this one of yours?
Yeah, he was a graffiti artist.
No, but I'll give it a go.
Have a little look at Justin.
I'll give it a go. Yeah.
There's a lot of overlaps with you and Justin, I think.
Right.
I love Justin. I think I tell him too. I think I make him feel quite uncomfortable because I do.
Yeah.
I love Justin.
Yeah, yeah.
Justin is the sweetest, very creative. Yeah, Starts off as a graffiti artist, now goes to prisons and does and when I say murals in prisons, I don't just, like, you have to see it to believe it. Really? It is incredible. incredible what he does. He's also a writer.
Right, yeah.
And he's such a sweet soul, but he'd committed very violent acts too.
Yeah.
Watch Justin Rollins. He's got a book called The Lost Boys.
It's funny. I will definitely check it out. But I'll tell you what, it's so funny that you even say that, because do you know what I find in life? Most creative people,
I know,
have been through some kind of
I know.
hardship.
I know. And I see them. And within a split second, I saw you walking down the street. And I see immediately beyond everything on the outside. I just go straight to the heart. It's like a little magic pulse that happens.
Yeah.
And with Justin, you've got the same quality as Justin. There's just something so beautiful there.
Yeah.
Truly.
But everybody I've met, you know, even when I was pissed up, you know, and as a sober man, everybody that I find interesting or fascinating, or they're overly creative, they could be a writer, an artist, a musician, an actor, anything, you know, they've all got some kind of story to tell.
It's true.
And I know everybody's got a story. Everybody's got their own story.
That's why I do this podcast.
You know, everybody's got a story, but I tend to find the really creative people have been through some kind of shit in their life.
It's very true. Very true.
Yeah. It's the same with the fighters, the MMA fighters and things like that, because that's a form of art as well.
Well, let me tell you, I swear to you, I mean, prison, all these things.
Yeah.
Kev Lane, Yami B, you now, Justin, Ben Hatchett, Brad. I've had Chris Booth, who's going to go out.
All had some colourful life or colourful background.
Such beautiful men.
The biggest hearts.
Absolutely, and they are such gorgeous souls.
And I think that's partly the reason why these men, including myself and these other like fantastic men, are the way they are, because they can relate. They've been through that shit. They know what it's like.
And I tell you,
and they don't want anybody else to feel that way.
They don't, and they're kind. I mean, Danny Harkins, who was one of the guests as well, he has sent me loads of these beautiful men. Yeah, and they're all, as you've done some violent stuff, they've all done some really violent stuff. Yeah. And actually, in every single case, with all of them, I've sat here and never felt so safe. Yeah. And so engrossed. Yeah. And literally falling in love with every single one of them. Yeah. And I said to you before, didn't I? I will stay in touch, not probably, because we have these intimate moments. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I feel so connected to you guys.
Exactly. It's an exchange of energy, but it's real energy. It's raw energy.
It is.
It's an exchange of that. There's no fakeness.
No.
There's no bullshit.
No.
You know, you can see it a mile off.
Yeah, you can.
Especially now I'm sober now. I could sit in a room with someone for 5 minutes and go, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel that connection there, you know, but we're all different. We're all different human beings. We're all on a different journey. Everybody's got their own struggles in life. But when it's raw and it's real and you're open and you're honest, and I'm not bullshitting about any of my stuff.
No.
You don't bullshit about any of your stuff. And that's what makes it such a beautiful, wonderful moment.
Yeah.
Because it's two people connecting on such a deep level of honesty and trust.
We see each other.
And we don't get that with everybody on this planet.
No, and I think because I was the kid that was seen as a problem. Yeah. And because you were the kid that was seen as a problem, I do think our little children that needed to be seen just come out. Yeah. And to wrap this up, right, again, I think the thing that stays with me more than anything is the boy on the bench in the park. Yeah. It's almost like I feel like a poem or a picture or something needs to be painted about that version of you, because in my head I can really see it. And I want to say this to everyone that's listening that goes through their own thing, that feels on their own. Even if you're an adult, if you're the boy in the park or the girl in the park sitting on your own, you don't have to be drinking alcohol, but the metaphor is, if you're feeling like you're completely on your own and no one sees and no one cares, I can guarantee you, and you know this as well as I do, there are people that care so much and that want to help. And the thing is, and you've talked about, you know, rehab and sobriety and recovery, there are people that actually want to see you in.
There are, yeah.
And as much as you can feel like you're different, you're the only one that's going through it. Nobody else has ever gone through what you've gone through. Maybe that's true because everyone's got a very subjective story, but there are people out there that do want to help. You don't have to do it alone. Even if you went through life on your own like you did, you will find your people. Yeah. And I think the point is that after you came out of this darkness, you've written 5 books now.
Yeah.
You're writing another book for somebody else to cover their life story. You're manifesting a completely different life.
Yeah.
Things can change. You are the master of your universe. You are the creator of your reality. And that is what we've got from you.
Yeah.
There is a lot of darkness and pain in your story, but look at what you're doing now.
Yeah.
You're becoming the orator, the writer, the creator of something brand new.
Yeah.
And you're going to help other people to get their story out there too.
Yeah.
And that saves lives.
It does. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, if my story can help people, that's great. But, you know, to be trusted to write other people's stories and help them with their healing journey
says everything about you.
Is amazing for me.
Yeah.
And I hope it's amazing for them as well.
Yeah, it will be.
You know, and a big healing journey for them.
And how
it can, who even knows where this could lead?
Oh, there's so much ahead of you.
You know, and I've got so many ideas when it comes to writing, but because I thought about what do I do after the inner upgrade?
Yeah.
When that project's over, what do I do? And I was thinking of writing fiction.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking of writing some fiction
That'd
stories
be good,
because I've got
actually.
lots of ideas. But this one sort of fell into my lap. And I thought, do you know what? This is going to be an amazing project. I never thought I'd be a true crime writer, which is incredible. But then I thought, what do I do after that? And there's so many people out there that want their voices heard.
Yes.
That you know, and
maybe this is the way. Maybe you become a very specific genre of ghostwriter.
Exactly.
Or autobiographer.
Who knows? Who knows?
But the thing is, don't force it. Let it be.
Every day counts, and one day at a time. And,
that's it.
You know,
all of that.
This is it, and it's like I always say. You know, you can't climb the mountain in broken shoes. Fix your shoes first, and then you can start doing great things. You know.
What a way to end. Now, that is. I could not have wrapped that up any better than you just did. That was phenomenal. Yeah. It's almost as though we planned that, which we did not.
No, I'm going to cry again. Jesus Christ.
No. This is the place to do it.
Yeah.
This little space that I've got down here, as you know, the next room is my therapy room. And that's why I said you'd have a producer in the room because it is just me and you talking. And I like the organic emotion. It's real. You are incredible.
Thank
you know, one of the things that
so are you though. So are you.
Thank you. I do want to tell you this because a little while ago I had a client and we had a really beautiful session actually, and we were talking about evil and good.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Do you think we are inherently evil? And some people are just evil and some people are just good." And I said, "No, I think we're inherently good, and we can do evil things, and it's based on." I guess genetics plays a part in it, but generally speaking, it's based on environment and experience. And with you did some evil things. People might call them evil, I don't, but just for the sake of the conversation, you did some evil things, but you were always good. You've always had a good heart. And I know I've said it a couple of times, but you have so much beautiful light in you. And I think I want you to remember that. Whatever happens, remember you have always been the light.
Yeah.
You are the light. You were never not the light. It got clouded, as we said, by the darkness. That became dominant. But you are the light, which is why Kelly's chosen you.
Yeah.
It's Kelly and James have chosen you. They see that you understand the dark, but they know you're the light.
Yeah.
You don't trust someone like that with your story, with a story like theirs, unless they see the light in you.
Yeah.
You know, they went through satanic abuse and they've chosen somebody that sprinkles magic and light into their lives.
Yeah.
That's you. It was always you. And the point I'm trying to make is when we see men or girls behaving in a way that looks dark or evil, please remember they're human.
Yeah.
They're not,
exactly.
you know, we need to make sure we remember that.
Yeah.
And you are beautifully human.
Yeah.
You are beautifully human.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. But there's one thing I've learned sort of coming out of this journey is I look at people very differently.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I don't judge.
Yeah.
I don't judge anybody.
No, because everyone's dealing with something we can't understand.
I read, you know, our local, it's called Devon Live. It's like a local online newspaper. And they have around the courts people that have committed crimes and done horrible things. And I read it in a completely different light.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some people read it and go, what an arsehole.
Yeah,
you know?
I
And
know.
I used to.
Yeah.
Even when I was an arsehole,
Yeah.
I used to read these articles and think, what an arsehole.
Yeah.
I was doing worse than what these guys were doing, but I still I'd stereotype straight away. But now one thing I've learned, I don't do that.
No.
I look at them and I think, what are they going through?
Me too.
What do they need help with?
And I think we could all do a bit of that.
We could.
That's why I wanted to get that in at the end.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, please?
Oh, God, right. So I do have an Instagram account. It's quite small. I don't have a massive following, but I'm actually quite new to Instagram. I never had social media when I was homeless.
Well, let's try and get a few more followers then.
When I was a pisshead and stuff, I never had it.
No.
So I've got a little bit of a recovery page and a little bit of an author page.
Yeah.
I've got a small following, but it is growing slowly.
Yes.
Which is nice. So I'm on there
as at
Lord Phipps-Warren author.
Yes.
And then on Facebook, it's just Ashley Phipps-Warren because they won't let me use Lord.
Even though it's your actual name.
Even though it's my actual name, they won't let you use Lord, which is weird. So on Facebook, it's Ashley Phipps-Warren. And on... Are
you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok. I think that, Ashley Phipps-Warren.
Right, well, everyone go and follow. We'll put your links on the episode, so they'll be able to find you anyway.
Yeah, cool.
This episode's probably going to come out in about 4 weeks.
Lovely.
So it'll be August by the time people see this.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Well, I'll be knee deep in the new book by then.
Yes, you will.
Which will be great. I'm getting started on that straight away. But yeah, I look forward to this.
And congratulations for the final trilogy book.
Thank you. I would say, I mean, it's a fantastic trilogy. It's very emotional. It's my life from 12 up until the present day.
So everything we've spoken about today, much more detail.
And much more detail. But this one that came out today is my most personal one, I think.
And it's going to help a lot of people because
I think so.
Taps into how you can do it too.
This is how it is after, because I think a lot of people that want to get into recovery, they're scared of what it's going to be like after recovery.
Yeah, because it's the unknown.
It's the unknown. And this book is all about that.
Amazing.
So I think that out of all the books in the trilogy, this one will be the one that will help people the most.
I'm going to say thank you as well before we go, because you've gone into the depths of emotion today for us listeners and for me. And I never take it for granted, especially when someone travels to get here and give a huge chunk of their weekend to this podcast.
Yeah.
It's obviously a labour of love for me to share these stories. And I know that the people listening to you will see some light bulb moments for themselves and for others that they love and know.
Yeah.
And so what you did today was really brilliant for me and for so many people. So thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for having me. It's been lovely. It's been really nice to talk to you, actually. A bit emotional at times, but I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's nice to sort of go into it in a bit more depth.
Yeah.
It's nice for me. It's been a little bit of a healing one for me to sort of go into a bit more depth and sort of, how the brain works and things, because I've got so many unanswered questions.
Of course.
And in a way, you've kind of answered some of those for me today.
Well, I'm here afterwards as well. And I say this to everyone because obviously my job, I do tend to go a little bit into the emotions and I realise that I'm lifting a lid on something. So
But it's nice. It's good.
I know that, but equally, you might be on the train back and there's loads of emotion. So you've got my number.
You'll be getting a message like everyone. Ella, can you just, what do you think of this?
Feel free.
I've just had this memory of this. Like, can you help me out with
Send it over, because if you're going to come on and share
and then you can send me an invoice then.
No, I won't do that. Well, this is kind of what I like to do to pay you back for being on this, you know.
Thank you. It's been lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.